Welcome to the Farmers Union Insurance pregame show. I'm Lauren Hill, joined by Ken Oda and Evan Epstein here in Austin, Minnesota for Game 1 of Round 1 of the Robertson Cup playoffs against the Austin Bruins. How are y'all feeling? We're excited to be here.
Well, I made the trip to Austin, so that should tell you how I'm feeling. I haven't been out here all season long, but Toros and Bruins in Round 1 of the playoffs. It used to be a spring tradition, turning into one again, third year in a row.
And we knew that these two teams were destined to meet each other for about a month now. And the play between these two sides over the course of the season sets up for an exciting series. 4-4 over the 4 games they played in March. They split them 2-2. We'll see who walks out of Game 1 victorious tonight.
All right, well, let's take a look at the NAL postseason bracket.
Starting out in the Central Division, Toros taking on the Austin Bruins, and they'll face the winner of the Bismarck Bobcats, who will play the Aberdeen Wings. Bobcats have home ice in that series.
Repeat of last year's playoffs. 59 games played this regular season just to get right to where we were last spring.
And we move on to the Midwest, the Wisconsin Wendigo, the 1 seed once again as they take on Gavin Middendorf's former squad, the Chippewa Steel. On the other side of that bracket, Fairbanks playing Anchorage for the Alaska rivalry. Definitely also helps out the travel schedule a little bit for those two squads.
For sure. Usually they have to do weird things with the playoff seeding for the Midwest when Alaska teams involved. They solve that problem by just having the Alaskas play each other.
And now we move on to the eastern part of the bracket. Rochester and Johnstown going head-to-head. The Maryland Black Bears, who took down the Toros in the Robertson Cup semifinals last year, will face the Maine Nordiques. That was the Eastern Final last year, and it went 5 games. So that is bound to be a good series once again.
Yeah, the 2-3 matchup. It'll be interesting to see. And then Johnstown, of course, they survived the play-in round to take on Rochester.
And we'll round it out with the southern portion of the bracket. The defending champs, the Lone Star Brahmas, taking on the New Mexico Ice Wolves, and the Shreveport Mudbugs will take on the Corpus Christi Ice Rays to finish off the bracket.
Yeah, Lone Star, the defending champs, as you said, getting ready to come back, hopefully for them, out of the South. They've been a good program for a long time. Corpus and Shreveport as well. Shreveport's won a couple of cups since 2018 as well.
And given the rivalry between Lone Star and Corpus, that would be a very fun
South
final to see. But we got to get back to the matchup in front of us here at Riverside Arena with the Toros and the Bruins.
Yeah, let's take a look at our Noodles numbers brought to you by Noodles & Company of Minot. So our Toros are currently 40-18-1 as we are third in the Central Division, as the Austin Bruins are 42-12-5 as they are second in the Central Division.
4-4 head-to-head this year. Toros 4-4 with Austin, 4-4 with Bismarck. So really, none of that matters anymore though, right? You throw out the regular season. Toros led the Central in goals per game. Austin was third in the NA in goals allowed per game, so it'll be interesting. Toros offense against Bruins defense. Toros certainly not bad at defense either, only 2.19, and that was a number that was below 2 really until the last few weeks.
And the special teams numbers are pretty comparable as well. You see the power play Toros just over 1% higher than the Austin Bruins, but I think what's important to point out is that the Bruins penalty kill finished the season 20 for 20 over the final 2 weekends. Now that was against the North Iowa Bulls and the Minnesota Mallards, who finished in 7th and 8th place in the Central Division. But nonetheless, still a strong ending to the year for Austin on special teams.
All right, we'll be back with more of the Farmers Union Insurance pregame show after a word from our partners.
When you carry blue, you get a devoted team backing you up, focused on you and your well-being, making it easier and affordable for you to make health a priority. When you carry blue, you get a health plan that anticipates your challenges, that's helping shape the future of healthcare, with more helpful tools and resources so you can get the most out of your benefits and focus more on living your best life. Find your plan today. Blue Cross Blue Shield of North Dakota. Carry blue. Carry on.
Welcome back. It's time to look at our Minotauros Research Club players to watch. I'm going to kick it off with my choice tonight of Adam Mahler. He did commit to Stonehill on Thursday, so we are very excited about that. as well as the fact that he has 46 total points in 59 games played on the season. Just good vibes in general for Adam Mahler this week. 2 goals and 7 assists against Austin in total this season, so I definitely could see Adam making some headway on the ice tonight.
All right, I'm going to go with another defenseman, Jordan Gibbs. Gibbsy is +5 in the head-to-head with Austin this year. That was the best of any player from either team in this series. So while he might not have put up offense, just 1 assist against Austin, his +5, good things happen for the Toros when Jordan Gibbs is on the ice against the Bruins. He did have 2 goals and 17 assists on the season, so he can certainly pitch in a little bit at the other end of the ice as well.
And I'm going to go with the most important man on the ice tonight for the Toros, not to take away from your players, but that's Lucas Svedin. We've seen Svedin single-handedly take over a game here at Riverside Arena. That Friday in March, 50 saves, 1 goal allowed. However, the next night, he gives up 4 goals in the first period. He's 2-4 this year against the Austin Bruins, but they need that Svedin that showed up on Friday to come out in the playoffs tonight.
All right, well, that'll bring us to our home key group keys to the game. Ken, what are your keys to tonight's game?
Well, my first home key group key to the game is to set the tone. At first glance, if you look at the box scores from the last 4 games in March against the Bruins, despite the splits, it didn't exactly look encouraging for the Toros, right? If you're a fan of the Cream and Cardinal, but really, the Toros figured out the Bruins, I think, that second weekend in Minot. The Friday game they lost, the Toros were up 2-1 with 5:37 to play. A brutal call of a 5-minute major that put the Toros shorthanded pretty much for the rest of regulation. In that stretch, the Toros got outshot 12. So the 43-25 game total got skewed by that 12-1 over the final 5 minutes. And then the next night, Toros come out and outshot the Bruins 42-32 and won 4-1. That was the last meeting between these two teams. So Toros need to come out and play like they did early in those games, except for that 5 minutes at the end of Friday night. If they can set the tone like they did that weekend, I think the Toros will be in good shape. Second home key group key to the game is adjustments. There are very few surprises in the Central Division, especially with longtime coaches like Steve Howard and Cody Campbell. In a 5-game series, 2 teams that are fairly evenly matched talent-wise. It's going to come down to how the players are deployed and how well the coaches can adjust to surprises and unexpected strategies. I believe in Cody Campbell. I think Toros fans do as well. And my third and final home key group key to the game is grab a cape. Last season, after posting 13 assists for just 28 points in 55 games, Nick Swecky went off. He scored 9 goals, 5 assists for 14 points in 9 playoff games. Ian Spencer went 15 games without scoring to end the regular season last year, had 2 goals in Game 1 against Austin. So deep playoff runs often depend on players you're not expecting to rise to the occasion. No better time to start that in Game 1.
And Ken, I want to go back to key number 1. Set the tone. When the Toros score first, they're 28-4-0. When the Bruins score first, they're 33-3-2. Shows you just how important getting on the board first is. And even more than that, this is a Toros team that lost 4 to finish out the season. Now, they rested some of their players against Bismarck, but still, the last time they won a game was against Austin out in Minot. You forget about the last 2 weeks if you get on the board first tonight.
All right, well, Minotauros fans, it's time to take out your phones and pull up the Toros mobile app for your chance to win prizes throughout tonight's game. Starting with our Four Bears Sportsbook over-unders. Our first one is total Toros defenseman goals over-under .5.
I'm going to take the under here. The Toros defensemen have only scored 2 goals against the Bruins in 8 games this season, and both of those goals came from Adam Mahler. So if anyone's going to do it, I think it's going to be Mahler, but I'm going to take the under here.
I was originally going to take the under, but fans, a little peek behind the curtain. We stopped at a gas station on the way here. Grace Sandy, one of our interns, asked me to pick up a Coke for her. I did. The bottle I grabbed said share a Coke with Landon. I'm going with Flem to get on the board. I feel like that was a message from the universe.
I love that. Well, Evan, you did say you weren't going to go against our players to watch, and you just did. 2 defensemen. I'm going to go for the over here. I can't go against Adam Mahler, especially during the playoffs, so over it is. Our second one is total Toros shots on goal over under 27.5.
I'm going to take the over here just mostly out of hope, right? The Toros, we saw them get on the board against Austin that last weekend in Minot. They had 42 shots in that game. I think the Toros have figured it out against the Bruins. The Toros' speed is the key. Hopefully we see that and we see lots of offense.
Yeah, I'm going to go over here. Y'all know I love an over, so this is no surprise to anybody. I think I've heard great and positive things about the Toros in playoffs, and I just want to expect the best, so I'm going to go over.
Even though the Austin Bruins are a stellar defensive team, the Toros have averaged 29.5 shots on goal per game against them this season, and I think they eclipse that mark by a wide margin tonight. I'm taking the over.
All right, and our last one is total overtime minutes played over under 15.5. I'm simply saying an under here because I don't want this to go to overtime.
I think the nod to this is the fact that we play 5-on-5 in overtime, so it could go on for a while. If we hit that OT stretch, however, in all likelihood, I think we probably don't play overtime tonight. I see it as a low-scoring game. Could go 2-1 either way. I'm taking the under here.
Toros and Bruins have met in the playoffs 7 times before. Only 6 total games have gone to overtime. So while if we go to overtime, it could be long, I feel like it's unlikely we go to overtime as well, so I'm taking the under. That'll bring us to the McDonald's Toros trivia question. As I mentioned, these teams have met 7 times in the postseason before. What is the Toros' record in Game 1 of a series against the Austin Bruins? 2-5, 3-4, 4-3, or 5-2?
I'm going to go ahead and say 5-2. I'm not 100% sure on this answer, but I mean the importance of Game 1 when you think about it. If the Toros pick up Game 1, they pick up a split on the road and are guaranteed to go back and have 2 home games, 1 on the road, at least tied 1-1. But like I said, that's the importance. I'm going 5-2 on this trivia question.
Yeah, I'm going to go with C, 4-3. So that's just simple. That'll do it for our Mizzou Insurance pregame show. We'll send you out for one more break, and then Ken will be back with you, Toros head coach Cody Campbell, right here on the Minotauros Network.
We often think of frontiers as pages in a history book, a time gone by. But even in this modern world, there are new frontiers to conquer. Whether you're tending the land to grow a better tomorrow or growing a business for new opportunities, the work you do powers the world. Exploring the frontier means stepping forward, shaping the future for yourself and for those around you. First International Bank and Trust, helping you live first, one step at a time.
When you carry blue, you get a devoted team backing you up, focused on you and your well-being, making it easier and affordable for you to make health a priority. When you carry blue, you get a health plan that anticipates your challenges, that's helping shape the future of healthcare, with more helpful tools and resources so you can get the most out of your benefits and focus more on living your best life. Find your plan today. Blue Cross Blue Shield of North Dakota. Carry blue, carry on.
I am Melissa Mack, and I do collections and loans at Aspire Credit Union.
My name is Amy Rasmussen, and I am the Member Experience Coordinator at Aspire Credit Union.
I think it's very important to give back to our community to show that we care. I think that we're very good at showing our members we care, and they see us out in the community.
What I like most about working at Aspire Credit Union, it is very family-oriented. We feel like one big happy family, and Aspire knows that your family always comes first.
I'll always remember when I first started. I showed up to work and my whole office was decorated in Mexican theme because I was going to be going to Mexico. And I remember just being so shocked and so honored that they did that for me. I just think that's really special that Aspire allows us to develop those relationships with our coworkers.
We do a lot of fun things. We have the best potlucks ever. Kind of brings us together, and everyone just kind of helps each other out.
Aspire to more.
The Four Bears Casino Sportsbook has a new look. Enjoy Vegas-style betting in comfort. Play and qualify to win trips to Vikings or Raiders NFL games. Order a drink at the dedicated bar. Then kick back in a lounger and watch the full wall display. Feel the action all the way to the final moment and claim your winnings. Book it for private draft parties or game day too. Visit the remodeled Sportsbook at Four Bears Casino and Lodge, 4 miles west of Newtown.
When facing disaster, it's not just the things we lose, but the memories. But there's hope. ServPro, with decades of experience in Minot and Bismarck, is always ready. Our certified professionals don't just restore homes, they rebuild lives. Because to us, you're not just a client, you're family.
Here with Toronto's head coach Cody Campbell. Cody, another spring, another playoff series against Austin. They've been your first round matchup every year you've been in Minot. As well as you know these guys, what are you expecting here in game one?
Yeah, and nothing terribly different. Everybody saves, little wrinkles and stuff that they'll put in for the playoffs, but benefit on both sides is, we play these guys 4 times in a row here within the last month. So everything should be fairly fresh about, what makes both teams successful. So there's no real advantage one way or other on that.
What did you take away from those 4 games in March with these guys as far as, what you guys need to do to come out of here with at least a split and steal home ice?
Yeah, first thing is our focus is on tonight and tonight only. We talked about that with the guys. In a series, if you get too far ahead of yourself, you're not gonna get to where you want to go for sure. So we focus on tonight. That's the main thing. And we know how Austin's going to play. They're going to play big, heavy. They're going to get to the net. Their power play is good. Their penalty, their just special teams in general are good. So we've got to make sure that we are as hard and heavy as they are, and then use other things that benefit our team, like our speed and playmaking ability. So to me, it's much less about combating things that they do well, and more about making sure that we're executing the things that we do real well at a high level.
Playoff hockey often comes down to guys you're not expecting to become heroes. Nick Zwiecki last year was about 0.5 point per game in the regular season and 1.5 points per game in the postseason. Are there any guys you're kind of looking to that thinking maybe that might be the guy this year?
I wouldn't be surprised if anybody on this team stepped up in a big way. It's that's the best part about junior hockey is guys grow so much throughout the course of the season, and it wouldn't shock me if it was anybody in the lineup tonight. So you definitely need that as you get into the playoffs to have a guy or two that maybe didn't produce as much in the regular season step up and produce a little bit more in the postseason. But like I said, it wouldn't shock me if somebody came out tonight that you weren't expecting had a really good night.
I know you said you're focused on tonight, but I want to zoom out a little bit. Earlier this week, Adam Mahler commits to Stonehill. 3-year Toro, he's been here for so long, so much of your Toro career as well. What did it mean to you personally as head coach and a guy who's been his coach for so long to see him get that commitment?
Yeah, it's cool. I remember deciding to recruit Adam, coming off of a broken neck. He didn't play very much hockey his last year prior to coming to Minot, and to see just his progression, see him mature as a person and be a guy that wears a letter for us now, and those kind of things has been awesome. And to cap that off with him being rewarded with the opportunity to play Division I hockey is a cool and exciting thing, and something that I also think that can give the rest of our guys energy as well.
All right, well, thank you and good luck tonight.
Thank you.
That'll do it for the Farmers Union pregame show. When we come back, we'll drop the puck on the Robertson Cup playoffs.
As long as you have the back of someone in the midst of an overdose, North Dakota's Good Samaritan Law has yours. Learn how to save a life at behavioralhealth.nd.gov.
Opioids. Fill with care.
Nicotine can harm brain development, which continues to about age 25. Know the risks. Visit ecigarettes.surgeongeneral.gov to learn more. This message is brought to you by the 1st District Health Unit and the Minot Minotauros.
Welcome into the Spam Can, the Riverside Arena here in Austin, Minnesota. Pre-game just about out of the way. Time for game one between the Toros and the Austin Bruins. As almost always, I am Ken Oda, Evan Epstein joins me for the playoff broadcast. Evan, I've done a lot of these playoff games. This is your first. How are you feeling as we get ready for this one?
You know, excited, nervous, all the feelings that you want to feel before the first game of the Robertson Cup playoffs. And we're about to drop the puck. Interesting to see. I think you expected the Ahala line out for the Toros. Bruins counter with the Hirschfeld line.
Toros working from right to left on your computer monitor smart device. However, you are tuned in to the Minotauros Network. We are glad to have you aboard for the Robertson Cup playoffs. Toros in the traveling black helmets, breezers and gloves, reds, shoulders and sides. Cream names and numbers for the men from the Magic City who control the opening draw. It's ahead for Yohala. He chips it into the near side corner. Toros will look to chase it down. Albert gets there first. Ohannesson takes it away from him. Tried to reverse it, but it was blocked off. Puck comes to the near side. It'll be Jackson Riley jamming it up the boards, but not past Billy Batten, who finds Yohala on the far side. Yohala working in the far circle. Forced to the wall. Tries to guide it back to the point. He's pinned up there. They'll dig along that far side wall, eventually dug out by the Bruins. And Shaver carries to the near side. I'm sorry, that was Williams. 15, not 5. Jams it out to neutral. Mahler ahead. Unable to connect with Yohala and the Bruins. Play it to the Toro zone for the first time. Quickly freed up by Mahler. He gives to Fleming. Fleming tries the far side, and Mindorf trying to cut in. Shot off the mask, and then he goes hard into the end wall. First save made by Solomon, and it rang his bell. Quickly ahead. Bruins into the zone. Lipset couldn't find the handle. A good stick from Spencer. Denied that opportunity. Jordan Gibbs on the near side. Shovels it out to neutral along the wall. Lund will have to retreat and retrieve for the Bruins. Won't go far enough for an icing. Mindorf pressuring, but Lund plays across. Return feed to the near side, and Lipset rolls it into the corner after jousting with Spencer. Jordan Gibbs on it first. He's pinned there by Beckwith. Puck comes up to the near side half wall where Spencer gets hit hard. Small jams at it, and it'll roll all the way down to the Bruin blue line. Far side into the zone comes Lipset. Lipset can't dangle through traffic with possession. Mahler wins the battle, jams it up the ice. Arm is up. This will go for a Minot's finest collision center icing. 18:22 left to go here in period number 1.
Gavin Middendorf with the game's first shot, and it was a great look on Jack Solomon. Middendorf, the acquisition during Christmas break, played his first game with the Toros December 31st. 24 goals, 9 assists in just 30 games with the Toros, and a massive part of that 13-game winning streak at the start of the 2025 calendar year.
Far side, Bruins jam it around to the near side. Noah Gibbs couldn't find the handle. Works free to the near circle. Paddington couldn't settle it down. He's jousting with Tui. Bruins control behind the net. Lorenza, turnaround shot. Saved with the paddle by Swedes. He passes his first test of the postseason. Tui working behind the net. Lost it, jammed out front. Quick shot, fought off with the blocker by Swedin. Toros gain possession on the near side. Noah Gibbs jams this down. He gained the red line, so no icing. Bruins take over in their own end. To the far side it goes, and Lorenza, the league's leading scorer, gains the line and chips it deep for Luke Balcasian. Throws in front. Tip goes up and over the crossbar. May have been helped with the edge of the glove by Swedes. Owens turns it over to Lorenza. Lorenza holding behind the net, watched by Fleming. Lorenza looking to get it to the middle. Chuck Owens pins him up instead. They dig in the near side corner. 2-by-2. Eventually, Lorenza can't keep it away from Owens. And Owens working up the board. Runs into trouble with Paddington, but is able to jam it out to neutral. Bruins have to reset. Long shift for their top line. They go to the bench. Dumped in. Yohala finds it. Yohala puts it behind the net for Mahler. Mahler from the far side finds Batten in the middle of the ice. Batten hands off to Ohannesson, and the Toros gain the line. Dumped into the far side corner. Batten after it. He's pinned there. Couldn't keep possession, and the Bruins will start the other way. Ashton Bynum. Bynum gains the red line, dumps it cross corner to the near side. Back on it is Hubert Clark. Clark to the far side, unable to reach it was Ty James. Toros will have to scrum for it. They free it up. Ohannesson. Ohannesson puts it into the skates of Batten. Batten hands to Clark. The defenseman leads the rush into the zone. Hubert Clark throws it in front. No one home, so an easy stick save for Solomon, and the Bruins bounce the puck out to neutral, taken over there by Mindorf. Mindorf works up the far side. Yohala comes across for Spencer. Spencer didn't catch it cleanly. It's turned over to Day. Chase Day dumps it in. Puck rolls in behind the Toro net. On it is Spencer. Spencer. Long toss ahead. Karams off the wall right to John Small. He'll dump it in. It'll ring to the near side. Samuelson and Williams after it. Williams met by Mindorf. Spencer upends Sevatessin. Bruins fans want a call. None coming. Bruins look to escape the zone on the far side. It's pushed ahead by Cherry into the offensive zone. They've got a man going to the front. Good stick by Ian Spencer coming back. Denied the shot. Now the Toros look to counter quickly. Spence, his toss ahead, hit Small on the skate, and then bounced wide of Middendorf. Toros regroup in their own end. Tui looks across, finds Jordan Gibbs. His pass for Small is off the mark, but Tui jumps in and carries ahead. Tui gains the line, throws it off the glove, and then the glass of Solomon. Throwing back out to neutral. Jordan Gibbs, gloves down. Nichols jams it into the offensive zone. Bruins take over there. They jam it ahead on the far side. Nichols with a big hit on Malkesian, who then plays dead. Bruins fans want a call, none coming.
Malkesian's still down.
And now the whistle goes.
He might actually be hurt.
Lipset over to Small and Mahler. But it's Evan Malkesian who is down, still on the ice. Trainer coming out. Here's another look at that defensive play by Ian Spencer moments ago while we work on the delay.
Ken, I don't know about you, but I didn't see that hit into Malkesian. It was a little bit behind the play, the puck down in the corner by the time the collision happens.
I didn't think it was particularly late. Now the officials are going to discuss. Meanwhile, let's take a look at some social media check-ins while the Dazzle of Zebras determines what will happen next. The Seversons are in Minot. Tanya Shaw-Canaro checking in from Richardson. The Chemits are tuned in on NATV, as are the Okasons. The Tims and Conrays are in Minot. Gerald Morgan is aboard. Joanne Elizabeth, Wally, and the Mocs are in Minot. The Gersbecks from Minot. Kim Nelson. The Sweets are in Minneapolis. Bookers are in Minot. The Smet Ellis crew is in Horace. Yep.
And Evan Malkesian actually is in the penalty box.
I think he's just there to get worked on by the trainer, though, as we take a look at Jack Solomon's numbers.
That's a good point, Ken. And, yeah, there's the numbers from Solomon. Very solid numbers on the season, .932. But the Bruins have a pair of goaltenders that they could go either way with. Carl Axelson, the other, they call him Saturday Night Carl here, so you wonder if you'll see him tomorrow. His save percentage up to .937. Solomon has only faced one test so far tonight, dealt with it well. And now on the other end, Lucas Svedin. And if you've been following Toros hockey, you know just how good Svedin has been all season long. .940, 28, 14. And he seems to put on a highlight reel just about every game.
Toros control the draw on the restart. No penalties called. Bruins fans letting the officials hear it. 2 referees here in Austin. I imagine we'll see 4-man crews for the entirety of the playoffs. And if neither guy saw it as a bad hit, that should tell you something. This is ahead. Yohala couldn't free that up. Lorenzo looks to turn. He'll just hoist one into the near side corner. It'll check up along the boards. Fleming wins the race for it. Flem up ice, finds Yohala. Yohala given space. Hands off to Batten. Batten into the zone. Batten shot and partially blocked. A good stick by Bynum. Moves up the wall. Yohala throws one on net that somehow got through Lorenzo to be gloved by Solomon.
And this is the matchup that the Toros want out on the ice. The Yohala, Ohanas, and Batten line taking on the Austin Bruins top line in Luke Malkesian and Alex Lorenzo, the NAHL's top 2 scorers, along with E.J. Paddington. On the first shift, you saw that line taking on the Jockums, Gibbs, Owens line for the Toros, and Lorenzo Paddington were able to create a lot of action out in front of the net of Lucas Svedin.
Carbo's checking in as the Battens from Phoenixville, Pennsylvania. Charles Wilburn's tuned in on NATV. Offensive zone draw. Small couldn't get his stick free. That allows the Bruins to take over. Gibbs kept it at the point for a moment. That was Jordan Gibbs. Eventually kicked free. Middendorf in with some space. Middendorf, a diving poke by Elbert. Denies that opportunity. Elbert around behind his net, plays to the far side. Just eludes Spencer. And now it's chipped into the offensive zone. Jordan Gibbs back on it. He'll throw one out. It'll bounce in neutral to be picked up by Williams. Pass ahead to the far side. Into the zone come the Bruins. A long shot in and out of the glove. Rebound given. Good stick by Jordan Gibbs. Denies an easy chance for Connor Beckwith on that rebound. Small finds this, avoids a hit, and plays to the far side. Albert gets there before Mindorf can, and it's dumped into the Toro zone. Bruins fans making some noise here in the spam can. But eventually the Toro's able to chip out to neutral. They're mid-change, dumped in. Swedes out of his net finds this. No time, so he throws one off the glass. It goes out of play, tips, so no penalty coming. Let's clean up a few more social check-ins. Jill Brault is aboard. Danny Held, Lucas Semstead. Krista Corey watching on NATV in Glenburn. Billet Ray at home on NATV. Tony Sanders is in Glenburn. Christine Wally from OKC rooting for number 77, Landon Fleming. The Brits are aboard. O'Hanny's dad and Aunt Doreen, who absolutely nailed the anthem in the final game of the regular season, is aboard. Michelle Bliven, Aaron Bliven aboard. Quick shot off the draw by Jackson Riley finds nothing but glass and caroms all the way down the ice. 13:27 to go here in the period.
Landon Fleming got his stick in the way of the shot, forced it out left.
They'll dig in behind the Bruins net. Ramirez and Nichols there for the Toros. Nichols pinned up by Melgren. Ramirez there as well. Puck squirts free. Day finds it. Edwards forces him to give it up, but it's ahead for Jackson Riley. Plenty of Toros back. Bruins all behind their own net. Riley dumps it in, looks to chase it down. He and Fleming after it. They cancel, and the puck picked up by Edwards. He banks to the near side. Good hoist ahead by Ramirez. Gets it out to neutral. Bouncing puck there. And eventually jammed up the wall. Dane Ramirez gains the red line, dumps it in. Yohala and Ohannesson after it. Lots of shouting from down by the Toro bench. Meanwhile, Yohala frees it up. Ohannesson jams it to the wall. Batten lays it back to Ty James. Good keep by James. Hands to Batten on the half wall on the far side. Batten goes to work there. Beats his man off the wall. Walks in. Wires wide as he was falling. Clark from the near point tries a shot that deflects to the far side corner. Ohannesson after it, but Samuelson wins the race and jams it out to neutral. Ty James takes over there, comes across the near side, and Clark will ring it along the kick plate. Stopped by Solomon. Reynolds picks it up and dumps it out of play. Gets hit for the effort from Batten, and we have a whistle with 12:13 to play in period number 1.
And that was such a beautiful move by Billy Batten, as we'll take a look at that replay, to create space all by himself and move in toward the net. You'll see it here. He gets by
nice
Evan
spin.
Malkasian on the spin move. A terrific season for Billy Batten. 20 goals, 42 assists. And as a result, or partially as a result, he got a commit to Army just a couple weeks ago.
Far side, Yohala trying to cut to the middle, but he couldn't get through. Puck rolls off his stick. Picked up by the Bruins. Far side, glass, and over the head of a jumping Connor Toohey. Bruins find it and dump it in. It was Gavin Cherry who did so. Jack Ohannesson hands the baton right back to Ohannesson with speed. He'll chip it in, look to chase it down. Albert gets there first. Ohannesson with a good stick, tried to keep it away, but the Bruins find it anyways. Williams out to neutral. That missed everyone. It'll end up on net, though, so no icing. Swedes will cover as pressure arrives from Paddington. Toohey and Jordan Gibbs were there as well. 11:40 left to play in period number 1.
And Ken, I think it's also important to note as we take a look at the playoff record against Austin, 10-15, a split 3-3 in overtime. Evan Malkasian, after taking a long delay on the ice, did not miss a shift. He was right back out there for the Bruins.
You don't say. Chipped in behind the Toro net. This is Adam Mahler. Noah Gibbs couldn't find the handle. Williams dumps it right back in. Paddington was in offside, so he couldn't play. That gives the Toros a moment. Fleming, as pressure arrives, banks ahead for Owens. Owens works it to Gibbs. Gibbs gives to Jockums. Jockums gains the line. Hooked and held as he tries to get through to the net. No call. Paddington ahead on the far side. Hands off to Williams. The defenseman dumps it into the near side corner. It ends up going up and out of play, I think. I didn't see.
It somehow went into the netting. It was a very weird hop.
Yeah. It hit the kick plate. It was dumped in along the ice. I don't know that I've ever seen that. Did someone turn the physics off here in this building?
The last time we were here in Austin, you look toward that near corner in the Toro zone, you saw a lot of weird kicks out toward the net of Lucas Fedin. Somehow they almost always seem to favor the Austin Bruins at their home rink.
I will say these boards may be as old as I am. 11:07 left to go here in period number 1. Draw in neutral. It'll be John Small's line against Connor Beckwith's group. Small goes nose to bubble with Beckwith over the dot. Neither team finds the handle. Eventually it's jammed back to the Bruins defense. Ashton Bynum dumps it in. Evan Malkasian puts it behind the Toro net. Adam Mahler gives to Fleming. Fleming comes to the near side. Spencer. Spence finds Mahler. Mahler up ice on the far side for Mindorf. Mindorf rolled it deep. He thought Mahler was going to pursue, but instead Mahler goes for a change. I think we're going to see a lot of that here where Mahler starts pretty much every defensive zone draw and then goes for a change once the Toros get up ice. This is Lund. Lund keeps it at the point but turns it over. Good spin move by Spence, and then he flips it out to neutral. Mindorf couldn't quite take it away, and neither could Small. Bouncing puck, Lorenza finds it. Lorenza forced to drop it back. Shot. Save made by Swedes with the right leg through a ton of traffic. This is Small. Stepped into by Beckwith. He lost the handle. Williams takes over. Williams gains the red line and dumps it in. Toros control. Ty James comes on the near side for Batten. Batten looked across, but it was tipped. Now the Bruins dump it in. Swedes stops for Tui. Tui lost the handle behind the net to Paddington. Paddington looking for Williams, but a good stick by Batten broke that play up. Paddington finds it, drops it in behind Luke Malkasian. Malkasian tries to come back to the near side in Paddington, but the Toros take it away, and Batten looks to go. Batten for Uhala. Uhala finds O'Hannison. Throws one on net. Save made as Batten was looking backside, but the whistle goes. Take a look at the stop by Swedes through a ton of traffic.
And yeah, it was Luke Malkasian screening up the shot in front of the net. Lorenzo does a good job on his positioning to get a pass into Beckwith, and Svedin keeping his eyes on the puck despite the screen out in front, and two Toro players also there clogging up his eyesight, but Svedin makes the save nonetheless. And Ken, I think over the first stretch of this game, what you've seen is the top two lines for the Toros have created all the action in front of the net of Jack Solomon, and that's not unexpected. They combined for 135 of the Toros' 208 goals this season, and they get to play more minutes in the postseasons rather than your normal cycle in the regular season.
For sure, and for the Bruins, it's really just been that Lorenzo line that has done all the threatening. Toros out shooting the Bruins 6-4 through the first 10 minutes and 35 seconds. Get to some more social media check-ins while we've got the delay here. We've got the Ramirez family checking in, the Brays from Granville, Pat Peterson's cheering from Minot, Jeff Sandvold. The Hyatts and Richies, along with Piper, are at Fort Hyatt. Jochum's parents are in Saskatoon. Dorothy Small is in Orland Park. Of course, Mike Small here in the building. Got to chat with him. Good to see he's doing well after the shoulder surgery. The Perreaults are checking in from here in Austin. Nancy Dolan checking in from Evergreen Park, Illinois. The Millers are in Lansford, ND. The Kings are in Minot. Grandma Spencer's in New Lenox, Illinois. O'Hanny's mom and the other O'Hanny watching from Michigan. The Biggs family's aboard as well. We'll get to more as we go. Here in game one, we're still scoreless. Far side, they battle along the wall. It's O'Hannison who can't find the handle eventually. Taken away by Batten in neutral. He drops it back to Jordan Gibbs. Gibbs gives to Tui ahead for Yohala. Good feed there by Gibbs. Yohala can't spin through traffic with help from O'Hannison, and the Bruins take it away. Dumped in on the far side. Swedes out of his net, plays it to the far side. Jackson Riley guides it back to the point. Comes across for Lund with a long shot blocked in front. Rebound shuttled on net. Another try doesn't go either. Hirschfeld creating that chaos. Back to the far point, near point Lund. Lund into the middle of the ice. O'Hannison takes it away and jams it out for Billy Batten. Batten holding. Buying time. Now he jitterbugs ahead. Gains the line. Drops for Yohala. Yohala turning on the wall. Dropped it back for Newman, who just dumped it into the corner so that the rest of his mates could change. Fleming pinched and threw one towards the net, but it got cut off. Bruins use the glass to bank that ahead on the far side. Should have been a hand pass, I think, on Mahler. Either way, Toros benefit. Edwards lost an edge on the near side. Puck turned over and jammed out to neutral. Mahler backpedaling, banks ahead for Newman. Newman feeds Ramirez. Ramirez into the zone. Drops for Edwards. Edwards returns it to Ramirez. Jammed back to the point. Adam Mahler. Mahler looking for a lane. His shot is blocked. It'll carry him to the far corner. Meanwhile, Ramirez getting absolutely worked over on that far side. Fleming keeps it. Shot blocked. It'll carry him to Ramirez, who's unable to hold on. He was trying to jam it back to Mahler, but Mahler had already retreated. Long toss ahead on the near side is off the mark. Throwing up the near side wall for the Bruins, it's Lorenza. Lorenza cuts to the middle of the ice, gains the zone, tries a shot. Blocked wide to the near side corner. Chuck Owens on it first, banks it to the far corner. Adam Mahler, who I would expect to play roughly 30 minutes tonight, and that's just if this game stays in regulation. Far side, big collision. Where is it? It lays on the blue line. Eventually jammed back to the Toro end. Clark from his own blue line starts up the near side, gains the red line, chips it in. Noah Gibbs after it. But the Bruins get there first. Melgren on the near side has trouble with Jockums. Owens couldn't quite reach the loose puck. Lorenza chips to the near side. No one there but Noah Gibbs, who throws one on net to be gloved and held by Solomon. Palindrome on the clock. 6:56 left to play here in period number 1. We're still scoreless in game 1 of the Robertson Cup playoffs.
Clear shot through there by Noah Gibbs, but in the prior shift you saw Jack Edwards out with Dane Ramirez and Parker Newman. Toros running 13 forwards tonight, and Newman and Davin Nichols have been swapping out 4 shifts here in the early going.
Take a look at the Toros' regular season goal scorers. Of course, Middendorf with 33. Only 24 of those were with the Toros, though. The rest came before the trade with Chippewa. Bodies hit the floor. Toros control. Fleming down the wall for Middendorf. Looks into the middle for Small. It's broken up, but Middendorf finds it. Middendorf looking across the blue line. He wanted Mahler, but it's tipped out to neutral. Mahler from the red line dumps it in. Toros touch up. Williams after it. Small on his hip. Williams plays to the far side. Poked away from Beckwith, but it's into the middle where Williams was waiting. Good stick by Fleming. Frees that up. Can the Toros do anything with it? They cannot, as Williams finds it. Williams looks across. It's thrown up ice. Touched into the Toro zone by Lipset. Found by Fleming, who then shovels it out to neutral. Dumped back in. They've got a player in offside, so Swede's able to glove that and play casually. Dumped in on net by Mahler. There was no icing because it went on goal. Toros pressuring. Small to the far side, but it's jammed. This one also ends up on net, so no icing. Quick toss ahead by Swedes. Kick to the near wall by Small. Billy Batten spins it out to neutral. Reynolds dumps it in on net. Swedes hands to Tui. Tui has trouble on the far wall. Gets help from Uhala, who puts it in behind the net for Jordan Gibbs. Jordan Gibbs gives to Tui. Tui's pass to Flex, but a good job by Uhala to work that out to neutral. Broken stick for Tui, so he couldn't play that puck when he came back into the Toro zone. Ty James up the near side. Squeezes through a check. Gets help from Ramirez. Uhala up on the pressure. The Bruins bank out to neutral where Jockums looks across for Ty James. Ty James dumps it in. It rides the glass, and eventually, how about that? That should be worth 2 points. He put it into the goal score, the goal judge's little box back there. It went over the glass, hit the netting, went down, and somehow caromed into the little window there for the goal judge.
You know, I wonder if he's ever got a puck in that area. A wild kick, but here, about 15 minutes into this game, this has been as advertised so far in SUC. Game 3 coming up next Friday at Mesa Arena, so make sure you're buying your tickets. 8 shots on goal aside. 2 very strong defensive teams, giving up just 2.19 goals a game from the Toros, 1.97 for the Bruins. You expect a low-scoring affair in this series.
Bruins dump it into the Toro zone. It was Paddington. Ty James gets to it first. James held up by Paddington. Puck turned over. Good stick by Clark. Breaks up that chance. The puck had been thrown in front. Squirts to the near corner. Ty James gets there first. Banks one ahead. Noah Gibbs hands to Jockums. Jockums with a good first touch. Walks in. Wires. It's blockered away by Solomon. Rebound to the near side. Owens gets it from Noah Gibbs. Tries to return it, but it's cut off. Up to neutral where Fleming finds it and dumps it right back in. Toros have to touch up. They do. It's Owens staying on to pressure while the rest of the Toros change. Now it's Spence pressuring. Ties up, frees it up. Mindorf breaks wide. Shot save made. Rebound covered. Hungry Hippo style by Solomon. Another palindrome on the clock. 4:14 to go here in period number 1. Still no score.
Ken, last week we talked about Mackley Morelli, the first touch on the puck as that set up his breakaway goal, and it's the same thing here by Braden Jockums to create that shot from the right side. Gave himself a good look, but Solomon has looked strong so far between the pipes for the Bruins.
A few more check-ins. The Meckleys are aboard. The Shaws are checking in from Minot. The Jones family in Minot. Braden Tews and Bruce Huffert listening on Facebook. Hope you're doing well, Bruce. It was good to catch up with you at the Toros' last home game against Bismarck last Friday. Collision on the near side. Spence and Small trying to free it up for the Toros. But the Bruins able to bowl their way along the near side wall, only to have Mindorf take it away in neutral. Mindorf between the circles of his own zone. Sauce to the near side. Fleming swats it ahead for Spence, who couldn't find the handle. It's hoisted in on net. Stopped by Swedes. Chipped to the near corner by Mahler, but the Bruins get there first. It's Lipset. Lipset tried to roll it behind the net. Toros take over there. It's up near side for Spencer. Got past him, and now Williams working from the blue line looking for a lane. Spence not giving him anything. Banked down, it bounces to the front. Good job by Small to find it. Johnny on the spot. Plays ahead. Spence to Mindorf. Mindorf hits the line and rings it. Solomon out of his net. Tries back to the far side. Savatesson plays ahead. It'll be chipped into the Toro zone. Back on it is Jordan Gibbs. Gibbs moves it up the far wall. Yohala hands to Ohannesson. Gives to Batten. Batten had it poked free. Evan Malkasian poked away from him by Jordan Gibbs, and now Batten looking to turn Yohala up ice. Yohala gains the line, tries to jump around Bynum. That doesn't work. And the Bruins take it away on the far side. Can the Toros free it up? Evan Malkasian just chips it out to neutral. 2-on-1 if they hurry. Jordan Gibbs is the lone man back. Jackson Riley's the trigger man. Riley looking across. The pass off the mark for Hirschfield. Toros catch a break. Chipped back into the Toros zone, delayed offside, so they get a moment. Good job by Tui to keep it away from Riley. Then he feeds Batten. Batten into the zone, drops for Yohala. Yohala returns to Batten. Yohala gets upended, apparently cleanly. They work in the near corner.
No penalties so far this period. Despite all the physicality, officials have let him play on.
I think in the playoffs, no official wants to be the story. This is Evan Malkasian, who, as you mentioned, hasn't missed a shift after he appeared comatose on the ice earlier. This is Noah Gibbs ahead. Noah Gibbs into the zone, looking to lead for Jockums, but it's broken up. Bruins play out to neutral. Ty James on it there. He'll drop it back. Jordan Gibbs gives back to James. Up ice, Jockums tips into the zone, and the Toros will pursue. Williams will be the first to it, tries to leave it. A good read by Jockums. He takes it away. Jockums trying to get to the front, but Solomon gets the glove over the top. A minute 44 left to play in a scoreless first period.
And we'll take a look at that 2-on-1 the other way in front of Lucas Vadine. Riley tries to tuck it back from a tough angle and try and fake out Jordan Gibbs that he's going for the shot. Sweeps it across late. Maybe trying to get a little bit too fancy there as he couldn't connect on the back door.
Draw will come to the left of Solomon. John Small flanked by Mindorf and Spencer. Now the Toros will move into position for their face-off play. Beckwith will try to prevent the chance. Puck poked to the wall. John Small takes over there. Small trying to work out of the corner. Plays it to the front. It ends up back to the point in Gibbs. Gibbs feeds Spencer on the near side half. Spence gives to Mindorf. Mindorf met immediately. Gets help from Small. Small working free. Continues the cycle. It'll go to the far side. Ty James pinches down on Beckwith. Mindorf there, frees it up, trying to get it to the front. It doesn't connect, and now Small gets hit after the puck was gone. Offside play, offside arm is up, and now that quick touch will take the puck all the way back down into the Bruins zone on the intentional offside with 63 ticks left to talk. here in period number 1.
And now you see this is what's happening in the postseason. You go right from the Middendorf line to the Yahala Ohannes and Baden line because there was enough time on that shift, along with this whistle, that it allows them to have fresh legs on the ice, and you don't worry about rest quite as much.
No, and that's the luxury the Toros have because they did roll 4 lines and 3 pairs in the regular season. Guys should be a little bit fresher. But the Bruins win the defensive zone draw. Lund plays to the far side as we hit the final minute of play here in period number 1. Final minute brought to you by our friends at Northern Plains Equipment. Shoveled up the wall. Fleming gloves down the stick. Throws it towards the front. It hit Yohala. And the Bruins are able to control. Now a delayed call coming. It'll be on Ohannesson. And the Toros touch. The whistle goes. The Toros will go to the Papa John's penalty kill. And after everything they've let go both ways this period, that is a soft call to start the special teams situations.
We'll see the replay. A trip is the call, but I didn't see much there. Toros penalty kill struggled against the Bruins back in March, 7 for 16. The Bruins were 7 for 16 on the power play across those 4 games. It kind of gets cut off by the glass there. You see Ohannesson fall down behind the Bruins player that he hit, so you can't really tell from the replay.
Draw to the left of Swedin. Toros win it. Fleming throws it all the way down. Spence got tripped up by Solomon. Meanwhile, this is Lorenza into the zone. Throws it towards the net. Fleming finds it and flicks ahead. His stick broke, so he didn't get anything on it, but that actually worked out. The slower clear forces the Bruins to take more time. Just 14 seconds left in the period. Riley drops it back to Luke Malkasian into the zone with just 8 seconds. Looks across. Paddington. Shot save made. Rebound hacked wide by Jackson Riley. He had a lot of net but couldn't find it, and the horn will sound to end the period. 20 minutes in the books. Still no score between the Toros and the Bruins in round 1, game 1. Let's take a quick look at that replay before we head out to break.
A gut-wrenching way to end the period for Toros fans, as this was clear on the back door for Riley, but the rebound forced him to his backhand, and he couldn't control it. Definitely had an opening to the skate of Lucas Svedin, so Toros escaped the first 42 seconds of the penalty kill. Now 1 minute and 18 left to kill to start the second period.
Let's take a quick break. We'll be back with Lauren Hill in the Farmers Union intermission interview after these messages.
The Four Bears Casino Sportsbook has a new look. Enjoy Vegas-style betting in comfort. Play and qualify to win trips to Vikings or Raiders NFL games. Order a drink at the dedicated bar. Then kick back in a lounger and watch the full wall display. Feel the action all the way to the final moment and claim your winnings. Book it for private draft parties or game day too. Visit the remodeled Sportsbook at Four Bears Casino and Lodge, 4 miles west of Newtown.
When facing disaster, it's not just the things we lose, but the memories. But there's hope. ServPro, with decades of experience in Minot and Bismarck, is always ready. Our certified professionals don't just restore homes, they rebuild lives. Because to us, you're not just a client, you're family.
In life, there's good, better, and the best. The same theme applies for our car and light truck tires at Northwest Tire. We offer you good tires, better tires, and the best tires. Which choice is right for you? That depends on your tire performance needs and your budget. The choice is yours. Come in and talk to one of our tire experts, and we'll help you decide which tire is best for you.
Welcome back inside the Spam Can, the Riverside Arena here in Austin, Minnesota. First intermission, we will send it down to Lauren Hill for the Farmers Insurance intermission interview.
All right, thank you, Ken. So I'm here with Assistant Captain Adam Mahler. This is not your first time playing against the Bruins in the postseason. Pretty slow start to the first period. What do you think it's going to take to get us through this game with a win?
Yeah, I think it wasn't a bad first 20. I think we just got to try and transition it a bit better and get more pucks to the net and try and just generate a bit more right at the net front. That's where goals are scored this time of year.
And what has been your advice to your teammates that have not played the Bruins in the postseason? You know, the difference between the Bruins in the regular season and the Bruins in the postseason is obviously different. What has been your advice?
Yeah, a lot of the message in the room from like our older guys is just try and take it shift at a time. Like, you can't win 3 games without winning 1, so just try and win your shift.
All right, and for the Toros fans that do not know, Adam, you committed to Stonehill earlier this week, so congratulations on that. How awesome is the feeling of knowing that you get to continue your hockey career in college?
Yeah, it's awesome. It's been a goal of mine for a while, and I'm just thankful for everyone who's helped me along the way, all my teammates, all my coaches, parents, billets, everyone's just, you can't do it alone. It takes a lot of help.
All right, thank you, Adam. Back to you, Ken.
Thank you, Lauren. That'll do it for the Farmers Union intermission interview. We'll send you back out the break. Come back with the Forebears Casino and Lodge intermission report after these messages.
Hi, I'd like to add my new motorcycle to my insurance policy, please.
Greetings. Is it a moped or unicycle?
No, it's a motorcycle.
Unicycling enhances core body strength?
No, it's a motorcycle. It has 2 wheels, a seat, handlebars.
Does it have rocket boosters?
Can I speak to a live agent?
Impossible. All agents have been neutralized.
At Farmers Union Insurance, technology is important, and so is finding the best options for our clients, person to person. Farmers Union Insurance. Local agents, more options, great rates.
As long as you have the back of someone in the midst of an overdose, North Dakota's Good Samaritan Law has yours. Learn how to save a life at behavioralhealth.nd.gov.
Opioids. Fill with care.
Our history sets us on our path. From the moment we're born, we begin our walk through life. We learn so we can discover. We find our passion and develop our skills. We build relationships. We start thinking about what we're going to leave behind to those we love. Let our legacy help shape yours. First International Bank and Trust. No matter your place in life, we can help you live first.
Since 1977, Northwest Tire's been your partner on the road for over 40 years. People have put their trust in our quality brand tires and expert service on the roads and in the fields for work, play, and travel. Northwest Tire, keeping you rolling down the road.
When facing disaster, it's not just the things we lose, but the memories. But there's hope. ServPro, with decades of experience in Minot and Bismarck, is always ready. Our certified professionals don't just restore homes, they rebuild lives. Because to us, you're not just a client, you're family.
If RPMs raise your BPMs, if the open road is an open invitation, then get up and go. Go turn some heads. Go turn a wrench. Go windows down, go volume up. Go in, go out, go off. Napa has America's largest network of parts and care, here to keep you firing on all cylinders.
Circle Sanitation is a locally owned family business providing quality waste hauling services since 1980. We provide service to residential and commercial customers, as well as roll-off service for large projects and construction sites. We are dedicated to providing excellent service at competitive prices without deceptive contracts or hidden fees. For more on what Circle Sanitation can do for you, call us or visit circlesanitation.com.
Welcome in to the Spam Can, the Riverside Arena, Austin, Minnesota. You've got the Minotauros Network and the Forebears Casino and Lodge intermission report. Ken Oda, Evan Epstein is alongside. We took you through the first 20 minutes. Pretty even first 20 minutes, Evan.
Yeah, I think the Toros did a little bit of a better job than the Bruins in terms of possession of the puck and keeping it in the Bruins zone. But on the contrary, I think the Bruins had a couple more dangerous opportunities out in front of the net of Lucas Svedin. They were screening up the puck well early, and you saw at the back end of the first period there, a rebound chance for Jackson Riley on the Bruins power play.
Taking a look at the numbers, Toros outshoot the Bruins despite the Bruins having, well, roughly half of a power play. compared to the Toros, none. 10-9 with the final shot totals. Still no score. Goalies have looked strong as we expected.
Yeah, without a doubt, right? Jack Solomon and Lucas Vadine, both in the top 5 in terms of giving up goals against per game. And you expected these two guys to stand strong, and behind them are two more terrific goaltenders in Will Mazenko and Carl Axelson, which is what I think makes the matchup between goaltenders fascinating. You have no idea who's going to be in net each and every night.
Let's take a look at what's going on around the league as the playoffs get going in full swing this weekend. Last weekend there were the play-in games, but even the league office on the media Zoom this week was talking about play-in rounds they're technically playoffs, but really it's not until you're down to the field of 16 that you really feel like the Robertson Cup playoffs are in full swing. Out east, we're stalling here if you can't tell, but
again, a question my ear from Kobe, who's alongside us. First postseason game with the Toros. It's been absolutely fantastic so far. Good atmosphere here in Austin. Fans showed up. And I think the Toros did a very good job early in the first period of responding to the Bruins' first punch from Alex Lorenza, E.J. Paddington, and Luke Malkasian. You saw the dive from Evan Malkasian, but I think that might have actually hurt the Bruins in the long run. They were playing well up until that point, and then that creates a stoppage on the ice.
Yeah, I think it was a good road period as far as the Toros are concerned. You came in, you outshot them by 1. Still even on the scoreboard. And speaking of scoreboards, let's take a look at that out-of-town board. Hitting the second break, the Rochester Junior Americans up 3-1 on Johnstown. It was Jacob Ingstrup with the lone goal. Former Toro scoring for the Tomahawks. Out in Maryland, the Maine Nordiques trailing the Black Bears 2-0. That also at the second break. Isn't Maine the 1 seed in that? Maine's the 3. I should have been paying closer attention during the Farmers Union pregame show. Midwest, Wisconsin, they're the 1 seed. I know that. They're up 3-1 on Chippewa. That is at the first break. Down south, Shreveport and Corpus, they're through 1. They're scoreless. How about this? First intermission in Bismarck. The Aberdeen Wings on a Cooper Anderson goal are up 1-0 and are out shooting the Bobcats 8-6. The Wings have the game's only 2 power plays so far.
And when we looked at that series, I think a lot of people look at the Aberdeen Wings like they do the Austin Bruins. They're a bigger team that bangs and brawls out there on the ice using their physicality. Wouldn't have necessarily expected them to have the first 2 power plays of the game, but the Wings getting on the board first. We should note they haven't cashed in on either of those power plays. That goal did come at full strength.
Indeed it did. Looking back down south, Lone Star and New Mexico, they are scoreless late in the first period. New Mexico got through the play-in round, and now they're taking on the 1 seed Lone Star, out shooting them 8-1. Lone Star has the game's 8-7. Lone Star has the game's lone power play, and then, as discussed, closing out the Midwest Division, playoffs out on the last frontier. Anchorage and Fairbanks, they won't get going until 7:30 Alaska time, which I have no idea when that is. That could be 10:30 our time. It could be 2 in the morning.
The first time I saw that as we were going through these, I had to check. I believe it's 2 hours behind us here in the Central Time Zone, which would put it at Pacific Time. So that doesn't necessarily...
No, yeah. It's got to be more than 2 hours.
Maybe it's 2 hours further than Pacific time.
So 4 hours, 7:30 would be 11:30. That feels about right. It's been that would require some research, Kobe, and that's, as any faculty member at DePaul University can tell you, that was never my style. Yeah, let's take a look at the updated over-unders, and we'll also take a look at how our fans were feeling about it. The first one, Toros defenseman goals. 81.6 of you took the over like I did. Evan took the under. 18.4% of you agreed with him. Total Toros shots on goal, over 73.5, under 26.5. So fans think that's going over. I think we were unanimous on the pregame show for that one. And total overtime minutes played, 15.5. 100%. I've never seen this on an over-under. 100% of our fans who played the over-unders game think we're playing less than 15.5 minutes of overtime. And at least for my voice and having to call the game tomorrow, I hope Toros fans are right on that one.
Man, that's no fun. As we've seen a playoff game between the Toros and the Bruins go almost 2 hours in game time, not real time. I believe it went till the very end of the third
16:43 into the third overtime, game 4 in 2014, and the game ended on a goal that shouldn't have been a goal. Not that I'm bitter about it or anything. But, yeah, the Toros were eliminated in 2014. A lot of those first group of Toros were on that Toro team that was looking to get the Toros' first playoff series win. We saw guys like Tim Donahue, Jaden Martin, who had been here for the entire first 3 years of the organization, have their Toro careers end in that game in very frustrating fashion. Let's take a look at the McDonald's Toros trivia question while we're at it. You can still play this one, so if you haven't downloaded the Toros Hockey mobile app, or if you have the Toros Hockey mobile app and you haven't jumped into the interactive games before, get yourself a chance at a free lunch from our friends at Dakota Drive McDonald's. What is the Toros' record in Game 1 of a series versus Austin? 7.3% of you think it is 2-5. 18.2% of you went 3-4. 56.4% of you went with Lauren and 4-3. 18.2% of you went with Evan and 5-2. We'll reveal the answer to that later in tonight's broadcast. We will take a break here on the Four Bears Casino Lodge Intermission Report. Actually, no, we'll first tell you about the autographed playoff pucks and mini sticks that are covering my face, which is probably a good thing for the viewers at home. As Kobe drops the graphic down a little bit. That auction is live on Dash right now. Those are buy now items, not auction items, so limited quantities of those. Get in on the dashapp.io or the digital auction tab in the Toro Hockey mobile app while you're there to play the McDonald's Toros trivia anyway. Get yourself a playoff signed stick, playoff signed puck, either for you or the Toro fan in your life. Now we'll send you out to break. When we come back, we'll drop the puck on period number 2 of Game 1 of the Robertson Cup playoffs.
We often think of frontiers as pages in a history book, a time gone by. But even in this modern world, there are new frontiers to conquer. Whether you're tending the land to grow a better tomorrow or growing a business for new opportunities, the work you do powers the world. Exploring the frontier means stepping forward, shaping the future for yourself and for those around you. First International Bank and Trust, helping you live first, one step at a time.
When you carry blue, you get a devoted team backing you up, focused on you and your well-being, making it easier and affordable for you to make health a priority. When you carry blue, you get a health plan that anticipates your challenges, that's helping shape the future of healthcare, with more helpful tools and resources so you can get the most out of your benefits and focus more on living your best life. Find your plan today. Blue Cross Blue Shield of North Dakota. Carry blue. Carry on.
I am Melissa Mack, and I do collections and loans at Aspire Credit Union.
My name is Amy Rasmussen, and I am the Member Experience Coordinator at Aspire Credit Union.
I think it's very important to give back to our community to show that we care. I think that we're very good at showing our members we care, and they see us out in the community.
What I like most about working at Aspire Credit Union, it is very family oriented. We feel like one big happy family, and Aspire knows that your family always comes first.
I'll always remember when I first started. I showed up to work and my whole office was decorated in Mexican theme because I was going to be going to Mexico. I remember just being so shocked and like so honored that they did that for me. I just think that's really special that Aspire allows us to develop those relationships with our coworkers.
We do a lot of fun things. We have the best potlucks ever. Kind of brings us together and everyone just kind of helps each other out.
Aspire to more.
At Northwest Tire, we have tires for everyone. Needs tires that are reliable and safe to get her family where they need to be. Needs a tire that's heavy duty for all of his off-roading adventures. Needs tires that can get him from point A to point B. No matter what you drive or your budget,
Northwest Tire keeps you rolling down the road.
Lucky for us, life is full of choices, big and small. They define us, make us who we are. And when it comes time for you to choose a car, home, your next big adventure, or start a new business, Farmers Union Insurance has the variety of coverage options to protect each perfect moment. Farmers Union Insurance. Contact your local Farmers Union Insurance agent today.
The puck, the net, the crowd, the moment. A chance to make history. Just like that perfect play, we're here to help you win at your financial game. At Great River Federal Credit Union, we offer competitive rates and innovative technology designed to empower you to achieve your goals. Become a member of Great River and score a $100 bonus when you use promo code Hockey100. Visit greatriverfcu.org/Hockey100 for details and open your account. Member NCUA.
The Four Bears Casino Sportsbook has a new look. Enjoy Vegas-style betting in comfort. Play and qualify to win trips to Vikings or Raiders NFL games. Order a drink at the dedicated bar. Then kick back in a lounger and watch the full wall display. Feel the action all the way to the final moment and claim your winnings. Book it for private draft parties or game day too. Visit the remodeled Sportsbook at Four Bears Casino and Lodge, 4 miles west of Newtown.
When facing disaster, it's not just the things we lose, but the memories. But there's hope. ServPro, with decades of experience in Minot and Bismarck, is always ready. Our certified professionals don't just restore homes, they rebuild lives. Because to us, you're not just a client, you're family.
As long as you have the back of someone in the midst of an overdose, North Dakota's Good Samaritan Law has yours. Learn how to save a life at behavioralhealth.nd.gov.
Opioids. Fill with care.
When you carry blue, you get a devoted team backing you up, focused on you and your well-being, making it easier and affordable for you to make health a priority. When you carry blue, you get a health plan that anticipates your challenges, that's helping shape the future of healthcare, with more helpful tools and resources so you can get the most out of your benefits and focus more on living your best life. Find your plan today. Blue Cross Blue Shield of North Dakota. Carry blue. Carry on.
I'm Draco Hamilton. You're watching Minotauros hockey on NAHLTV.com.
Welcome back inside the Spam Can, the Riverside Arena here in Austin, Minnesota. Getting ready for period number 2 between the Toros and the Austin Bruins. No score in the opening frame. No real feeling out process either. These teams went right at each other. But both goaltenders played well. Defense cleaned up second chances, and we're still scoreless through 2. Toros still have a minute 18 left on the Papa John's PK. We'll restart at center. Toros now working left to right on your computer screen or smart device. A few more social media check-ins. Mike Carlock is in Burlington. Laura Schneiberbruns is in Minot. The Tophams are in Minot. The Lawrence family's at home. Patrick Johnson from Stockholm. The Wrights are at Minot. The Kowitzes are aboard. Papa and Grandma Edwards in Ottawa, Ontario. We'll get to more as we go. Period number 2 is underway. The Toros control the draw and send it down into the offensive zone. Pressure by Ian Spencer, forcing Ashton Bynum back. He'll look across, finds Lorenza. The ever-dangerous Lorenza hands off to Jackson Riley, who turns it over. And Landon Fleming sends this all the way down. Solomon out of his net to stop. Hands off to Bynum, watched by Small. Bynum slowly up the ice. Now he'll drop it back. Hand it off to Lorenza. He gives back to Bynum, who has to dump this in. Swede's able to stop, and he clears it all the way down himself. Just 36 ticks left to talk on the Papa John's PK as the Toros get a change.
Terrific start to the period for the Toros. 2 quick clears as that one's just in front of Paddington.
Dangerously close to an offside play as well. Williams keeps it at the blue line, hands off Lorenzo. Lorenzo walks in, wires fought off by Swedes. The rebound goes up off the glass, and the Toros get the clear. Just 10 seconds left on the power play as the Bruins are forced back behind their own net. This is Williams, leaves off far side. Toros come full strength. O'Hannison out of the boxes. Clark and Melgren crash into Lucas Swedin's net, sending it well off the goal line, which leads to a stoppage. They're not going to let the Toros change. The Toros, having been ruled to take the net off themselves.
Not what it looked like there, but nonetheless for Tyler Ebner and Cody Campbell, couldn't have asked for a much better start to the period. Clears from Svedin, Fleming as they kill off the minute and 18 they had on the penalty kill.
Jordan Gibbs gives to O'Hannison on the near side. O'Hannison trying to throw it to the middle, hits the referee's skate and caroms to the corner. Hirschfield behind the net, runs into his own man. Can the Toros free it up? They do. Yohala and O'Hannison battling down low. O'Hannison pushed off the puck. Melgren finds it. Melgren hands off. Luke Malkasian punches it behind the net for Williams. Toros pressure. Thrown to the near side. Day can't chip it around Mahler. Hirschfield dumps it into the Toro zone. Swedes couldn't quite stop it. Thrown to the front. A good job by Fleming to break that up. Comes back to Luke Malkasian, far side. They find a man at the point. It was Lund. His shot was blocked by a sliding O'Hannison. Quickly ahead, Yohala working in a triangle of Bruins. He'll choose to chip it into the corner. Fresh Toros on the ice. It's the Owens line. Far side ahead, Hirschfield tips it. It's chipped back to him in the corner. Hirschfield looking for Evan Malkasian in a shot. That's kicked away by Swedes, and Tui starts the Toros up ice. Owens rolls it on net. Solomon forced to play. He turns it to the near side. Noah Gibbs is the first to it. Looks up top for Jordan Gibbs. Shot, save made, rebound given. Jockums tries a shot. It's blocked up off the glass on the near side. Noah Gibbs swatted it back to the point, and Jordan Gibbs, but it got by him. Races on the other way. Connor Tui back on it. Tui looking for help. Finds Noah Gibbs in neutral. Up ice for Jockums. Jockums drops for Owens. Owens had it poked off his stick by a Bruin coming on the back check. Lund chips to the far side and looks to start the Bruins up ice. Gains the red line. Just hammers one that's shrugged away by Swedes. Tui finds it. Throws it out to neutral. It's Samuelson dumping it into the Toro end. Swedes couldn't stop the bouncing puck, and now Clark has trouble with Beckwith on the far side. Help arrives for the Bruins from Cherry. Bouncing puck. Tui pins a man on the far wall. Clark has trouble with Beckwith. Beckwith takes it away, throws it in front, save made. Rebound comes back to Swedes, who's able to dive on top. Hungry Hippo style. 16:22 left to play in period number 2.
And the reason the Bruins couldn't get to that rebound was because John Small was bodying out Gavin Cherry away from the crease. Went off the back of the skate, I believe, of John Small, and that allowed Svedin to fall on the puck.
Tui had a man tied up on the near post as well.
So all around, Toros defensively doing a good job of helping out Lucas Svedin.
16:22 left to go here in the second. Still no score. Puck kicks to the middle of the ice. Ian Spencer finds it. Soft chip out. He was looking for Middendorf, but broken up by a good stick from Luke Malkasian. Lorenza can't find the handle. Neither can Middendorf, and eventually, far side, it's Luke Malkasian dumping it in again. Adam Mahler couldn't keep it away from Lorenza. Now Lorenza working in the corner. Mahler got upended. Good job by the Toros just to chip that out to neutral. Delayed offside, so Small picks it up. Small gains the line on the near side. Tied up by Albert. Lorenza helps out. Lorenza, though, gives it back to Small, who's spun off by Albert. Paddington swoops in, but so does Ian Spencer. Spence working behind the net, hits the brakes. Caught a stick to the face and then gets buried. They dig down low. Spence back to his feet. Working hard along the end boards, but eventually it's Williams taking it away. He leaves it behind the net for no one in particular, but Lorenza able to retreat and retrieve.
Spence heads to the bench, and he's frustrated at the no call. Definitely caught a high stick up and under the mask.
This one carried ahead by Williams, poked away. A good step up by Yohala. Now it's chipped down in the Toro zone. It gets by Ty James, but he's able to retreat and find it. Looks up ice, finds Yohala. Yohala gives to Batten on the far side. Batten swats it deep. It'll roll in behind the net. Near side, gathered up and carried ahead by Ryder Reynolds. Gives to Day, who dumps it cross corner. Hirschfield swats it to the near corner. Ty James gets there first. James hit hard, but he took the hit to make the play out to Ohannesson. Ohannesson and Bynum, a pair of sevens, joust in the referee crease, but it's number 6, Hirschfield, who takes it away. Hirschfield's backhand try deflects up off the glass. Bounced back to the point in Day. Day, his shot goes well wide. It finds the glass near the door where the Bruins come in. Batten chips it ahead, not out, but a shot blocked by Ty James. Batten finds the Ed Ohannesson breaking, but couldn't get a pass there. Now it comes across Days in all alone, stopped by Swedes. And where's the rebound? It was underneath Swedes. Good battle in front as we take another look.
Trace Day, given that his back was to Lucas Svedin, could only take it to the backhand. So Svedin knew where Trace Day was going, which makes it maybe a little bit of an easier save than it looks like, because Day was all alone out in front of the net.
Yeah, good job by Swedes just to take away the bottom half. 14-18 to go here in period number 2. We're still looking for the first goal of the contest. Samuelson and Edwards on the draw. Kicked ahead. Punched ahead by Nichols, who gets tackled. Ramirez dumps it in and then gets a big piece of Lund, much to the delight of the Cream and Cardinal fans in the building. Nichols down low. Help from Edwards. They're trying to work it out of the corner. Nichols lost the race to this. A good stick. Swats it ahead. It's Samuelson carrying up ice. He chips it into the Toro zone. And they'll say it was icing. Samuelson was short of center. So Toros get an offensive zone draw. Icings are brought to you by our friends at
Minot's Finest Collision Center.
A few more social media check-ins. Betsy Patterson watching on NAHL TV in Sacramento. Sally B and the Chicago crew. Mary Vigna's here as long as I don't make any more Blackhawks jokes. It's all right. Their season's over. We don't have to worry about playoff hockey for Chicago fans. Oh, I may have just broke that rule. Lawrence's, remember the overtime game back in 2014? This is the Toros off the draw. Gibbs with a long shot. Save made. Rebound was there, but the Toros couldn't find it. Near point, Toohey. He tries his shot. It's blocked. It'll carry him all the way down the ice.
Jockums is getting tackled by Emil Samuelson behind the play.
Totally clean, though. This is Noah Gibbs into the zone. Hands to Owens. Owens gives back to Noah Gibbs, who sweeps it around to the near point, and Toohey. Toohey. Head fake. Long shot. Sails in and to be soaked up by Solomon. And now Edwards and Lund jousting. And nothing will come of that. 13:29 to play here in the second.
The pair of Noah Gibbs and Xander Lipset. The shot went right through the two of them, but it went through so clean that it wasn't a problem for Jack Solomon, as you'll see it here. Or this is actually going to be the rebound that goes through the skates of Owens on the near post. The Toro player picks up the puck there. There's an open portion of the net to shoot on.
Mindorf lined up in the shooting hole behind John Small, but the draw one back into the corner by Beckwith. Good work by Spencer, who gets tackled behind the net. That also apparently cleanly. Spencer again tackled. He's just looking at the ref. That's the third time he feels a penalty should have been called against the Bruins on him alone. Beckwith and Mahler jousting down the ice. Small erases a man behind the net. Puck gets caught up by the Zamdor, leading to a turnover. One-timer in front. Doesn't go as Swedes was able to swat it with the paddle. Long pass ahead. Small drops for Fleming, who dumps it deep. Solomon out of his net, stops it, throws it along the glass to the near side. And the Bruins chip out to neutral. Mindorf gloves down the stick. He's got Mates in offside, so he'll have to peel back. He does. Avoids a slash and then lost the handle. Taken away by Evan Malkasian. Puck to the far side. Toss back to the middle. Albert looking up ice. Finds Evan Malkasian. He throws one on net. That's paddled aside by Swedes. Jordan Gibbs on the rebound. Holds behind the net. Throws to the near side. Mindorf. His pass was blocked by Lorenza. Swedes out of his net. He'll ring it to the far side. No one there for the Toros to be kept to the point. Thrown across the near side and Lund. Steps into one, save made, rebound, hops over two Toro sticks to be kept by the Bruins. Long shot through traffic, save made by Swedes, rebound to the far side. This is Tui. Up ice, Lorenza hits him up high, but he made the pass up ice for Ian Spencer, who throws one on net, save made. Rebound to the near side wall. Lund has trouble behind his own net. Again, those ancient kick plates causing trouble. Kicked out front by Ohannesson and unable to settle it down. Was Batten to eventually be held in the glove of Solomon. 11:43 to play in an eventful second period, but still no score.
And Solomon wisely snatching that one out of midair. But Ken, we talked about it in the month of March. This is an Austin Bruins team that plays physical. They hook and they hold. And when they don't get calls out on the ice, that encourages that style of play. You see Ian Spencer, the Toros' point leader this season at 71, tying the Toros' single-season record with Hunter Longy, has been frustrated here early in the second. And you understand why.
Indeed you do, but it's playoff hockey. You're going to have to fall down and accidentally trip a guy to get a power play. Bruins control off the draw in their own zone. Jackson Riley turns it over to Yohala, thrown in front. Ohannesson finds it. Fans on the shot, and Solomon will be able to get a cover.
And that might have been the best look the Toros have had all night long. A tipped puck free to Ohannesson in the slot. And as he's skating back, sometimes maybe he's just a little bit off balance and can't connect with the puck.
A few more social check-ins. The Thiels are aboard from home. The Knights are in Minot. The Van Hoosers are in Burlington. Andrew Jordan aboard as well. Ohannesson lined up behind Yohala. Yohala couldn't win it to him. Instead, he chases it down in the corner, but fans on the pass, and the Bruins take over. Carried up the near side. Svetesson working on Ty James. Ty James frees it up, and Clark finishes the takeaway. Toss across, finds Ohannesson with room on the near side. Ohannesson gains the red line, floats it into the corner. Solomon out of his net will guide it to the far side, and Hirschfield chips it by Batten for Jackson Riley. Riley gets it back and then hands off, delayed offside. Why did he make that pass? Hirschfield forced to just dump that in. Swedes out of his net, slows it down. Clark on it, chips it behind the net for Fleming. Fleming comes to the near side. Ohannesson up ice for Yohala. 3-on-2 for the Toros if they hurry. Nice move by Yohala to avoid the hit and gain the zone. But Yohala bumped off on the near side. Melgren finishes the takeaway and chips out to neutral, where Clark has trouble, but the Bruin lost his stick. That allows the Toros to take over. They've got Owens behind the defense. Batten didn't see him, so he cuts off the pass. Batten in, shot, it's in! Batten beats Solomon and the Toros lead 1-0. Toros get on the board early. Batten took the breakaway chance away from Owens, but he makes up for it by burying one behind the Bruin goaltender.
And that's the situation where Billy Batten has two defensemen on him. One should take off the near post, the other should take the back, but they don't communicate with each other, which leaves Batten free out to the far side, and he capitalizes on the shot.
Another look. Both guys let Batten go, and that's not a great idea. Now it is 1-0 Toros here in game one, 10:28 left to play here in period number 2.
And Billy Batten's a guy, it's just his first year with the Toros, but he has postseason experience in the AJHL. In 4 games, he had a goal and 3 assists. So postseason hockey, he's no stranger to it.
20 goals, 42 helpers in the regular season as well for Batten. We are approaching the halfway point of regulation as Mahler steps up, tries to give to Owens. It's freed up for Jockums. Jockums gives to Fleming for a shot that's blocked to the corner. Noah Gibbs was the first to see it. Plays it back to the point. It gets by Fleming out to neutral. Jockums drops it back to Mahler. Those are the two that were credited with the assists. Chuck Owens sweeps it deep. Solomon out of his net to stop that. Long pass ahead. That missed the intended target. Arm is up. That goes for an icing. Icings are brought to you by our friends at
Minot's finest collision center. Comes with 9:43 to play. And Landon Fleming and Adam Mahler have been putting in good work defensively all night long. Ken, we've talked about it, but those two men are going to be out on the ice longer than they have been all year long. They don't look winded quite yet, but that will be something to keep an eye on in the third.
Toros control the draw. Spencer gives back to Tui. Tui with a long shot, deflects to the corner. Mindorf finds it. Mindorf out of the corner, forced to turn back. He'll just chip it deep. Ian Spencer tries to hack it free for Small. Doesn't connect. Small working for it. Ian Spencer upended. He ends up breaking up the pass from his backside. Beckwith finds it and sends it down the ice.
Spencer and Evan Malkasian with a couple of jabs there.
Mindorf gains the line. Gives to Small, then tries a shot that deflects up and out of play. Evan Malkasian. He's an 07, so he is required to wear the bubble. We hit the media time out. We'll keep it in here, though. Take another look at that goal if we have it.
I will say Ian Spencer is a little bit lucky he didn't take a trip there on the far side. He has been frustrated, tackled an Austin Bruin to the ground. And once again, this is what you've seen all night. One of the officials was staring right at it, but no call.
This is another look at the goal, though. Batten forces both Bruins decide to take the pass away from him. They stay with Owens. And Billy Batten buries one to the back of the net. The Army commit, his first of the postseason. Charles Wilburn said it sounds like there's a lot of Toro fans here. There are. I've seen a lot of Cream and Cardinal here in the building. A few Minnesota boys on the Toros roster. That makes it easy. I also saw Mr. Mahler was here, Mr. Small, a Chicago and a Pittsburgh Toro family. My parents made the drive up from Chicago, so a good number of Toro fans in the crowd. Of course, this is game 1 of a best-of-5 playoff series. We know for sure there will be a game 3. That is next Friday, a week from tonight, at the Pepsi Rink at Mesa Arena. Tickets are available now. Season ticket holders, your tickets are in your account, but you need to claim them as play restarts. O'Hannesson, a weak backhander on net, and Solomon will cover. You have to log into your season ticket account and claim it. Otherwise, they will release on Monday at noon. If you're not sure how to do that, shoot an email to contact@minotauroshockey.com. Let us know. We can walk you through it. Or call the office Monday morning. 50-50 draw, lays free in the near circle, eventually dug out by the Bruins. Good hit by Batten on the near side, but the puck's ahead for Paddington. Paddington works on Mahler. Mahler wins that battle. Fleming cleans up the puck. Chip to the near side. Yohala couldn't scoop and go. That allows Lorenzo to take over. Lorenzo banks back to the point. Shot by Bynum, save made. Rebound off the end wall, and Yohala gloves down to the stick, and then hoists one ahead. He wanted O'Hannesson, but it was a bit long. Swept back into the zone by Paddington. It hits the linesman who stops it for Lorenza. Far side. Samuelson throws around to the near side. Lund pinches down from the blue line, just hacks it back in behind the net. Yohala pushed off the puck by Paddington. It squirts to the side of the net. Fleming upended, but the Toros are able to chip that out, and it won't go far enough for an icing. Far side, touched into the zone. Yohala and Luke Malkasian after it. Hirschfield to the front. It goes off the outside of the net. Karams to Lund. Lund with a long shot off the end wall. Toros, Yohala finds it. Yohala Tries a pass, it hits a skate and caroms to the blue line of the Bruins zone, where Williams plays ahead for Lorenza, who had the linesman in his way, but worked it to Hirschfield. Sorry, that was Luke Malkasian, 18, not 19. Gibbs takes it away from him. A slash takes the stick out of Yohala's hands. The back referee had it. Toros to the first Western Bank and Trust power play.
At long last, the Toros will finally have a power play tonight. Toros 4th in the NHL on the power play this season at 22.22%. And we'll see who they send out for that first unit. Billy Batten missed the last 4 games of the season, so Gavin Middendorf came to fill in against Aberdeen as lines were juggled against the Bismarck Bobcats. It was kind of a jumble, and it is Middendorf out on the first power play unit. As you see, the Toros 7 for 33 against Austin this year, very similar to their season-long numbers.
So Yohala with Ohannesson, Middendorf, Spencer, and Mahler. Bruins control the draw, punch it to the corner. Williams throws it up good. No, I thought Mahler grabbed it. It got by, and the Toros will have to retreat and retrieve. Pressure coming from Lipset. Force Mahler to turn back. Mahler up the middle of the ice. Forced wide. Can he get by Samuelson? It's a tackle play, and eventually the puck sent the length of the ice. Have to be careful with this Bruins squad as the Toros gain the line, and Spencer dropping for Yohala. Yohala back down to Spencer, bouncing puck. He couldn't settle it down. Now he does. He'll ring it to Mahler. Mahler carries down the wall, just banks it down low. He wants Spencer. Spence sweeps to Middendorf. Middendorf up top for Mahler. Mahler comes across Yohala. Yohala holds, chips back up top for Mahler. Mahler for Middendorf, back up top Mahler. Mahler through traffic. That was blocked by Svetessin, and he is stung. Down low, Spencer shot, save made, no rebound given. I think he made the stop with his neck guard. The neck guard, and then he put the mask down to hold on to it.
Jack Solomon has not looked comfortable in the second period, especially after giving up that goal to Billy Batten. And Svetessin still stung up from Adam Mahler. I mean, you know the heat that Mahler can put behind the shot, and he does so frequently.
I wouldn't want to stand in front of any of these Toro shots, but Adam Mahler's probably pretty low on that list. Jochum spun off the puck, and Bruins take it and clear it all the way down. I was starting to say you have to be careful with this Bruins squad. 10 shorthanded goals in the regular season. That was good for 3rd in the league. Carried up ice, Jochums rolls it in. Bruins get there first. They throw it ahead. Jordan Gibbs, a good keep at the point. Jordan Gibbs down low for Jochums, help from Batten. Batten looks up top for Jordan Gibbs again. Jordan Gibbs walks to the middle, then leaves off far side for John Small. Small carries down low, looks up for Noah Gibbs, a shot gloved and held. Toros got exactly what they were looking for on that rotation play, but just a good save by Solomon with the glove on Noah Gibbs. 360 seconds left to go here in period number 2, 16 of which will see the Toros on the power play, barring a goal or further infraction.
And that might have been a situation in which Noah Gibbs didn't realize how much space he has. You see the little pause there, but that's a good shot from Gibbs, looking up over the glove, far side.
I'm okay taking a moment there if you're the Toros and Noah Gibbs to try and pick your spot. Toros weren't allowed to change. This is Batten. Batten delays. Now he looks up top for Jordan Gibbs. Jordan Gibbs gives to Small. 9 seconds on a power play. Back up top for Jordan Gibbs. Comes across for Batten. Batten for Jordan Gibbs. One-timer save made. Rebound. Thrown towards the net. It goes wide. Bruins back to full strength. Batten working down low. Into the middle. Broken up. Good job by Fleming to keep that away from Paddington, who had just come on for the penalized Hirschfield. Into the middle. Good break up by Jordan Gibbs. It pinballs around and comes back towards the front. Gibbs breaks it up again. Carried ahead by John Small. 5:20 left to play here in period number 2. Toros lead by 1. John Small eventually taking off that puck, and it's thrown out to neutral where Mahler gloves down to the stick. Spence tried to feed Ohannesson, but it's taken away by Lorenza, but the Bruins were mid-change. Paddington was in offside. To the near side, Paddington couldn't find the handle. Throw to the near side by the Toros. It gets by Lund at the blue line. And Yohala's pressure forces the Bruins back. Again, they'll dump it into the Toros zone. Again, Adam Mahler wins a battle. Chips it up the near side wall. It doesn't get out. Mahler fighting through, wins the battle with Jackson Riley and feeds Ian Spencer. Spencer chips into the zone, looks to squeeze by and get it himself. He does. Then gets buried along the end wall. And Spence is down. Toros want a call. None coming.
Spence is a little bit
retrieves
hurt.
his stick. Ty James has to dump that in as Spence was retrieving his stick from behind the net. Yikes. Sorry about that. I was thrown off by the delayed offside. Toros find it in their own zone, ring it to the near side. Evan Malkasian. Good stick by Noah Gibbs, breaks that up, and now Jockham's taken to the bench by Jackson Riley, who still has a hold of him in front of the Bruin bench. Toros break up the chance. Ty James works it for Owens. Owens finds Jockham's. Jockham's into the zone. Forced wide and then taken to the end wall by Melgren.
It's a great defensive play by Melgren.
It was.
Realizing that there's no second man, so he can attack Jockham's, and he legally angles him out toward the wall.
That's an icing by the Bruins. They were short of center when they dumped that in. 3:36 to play here in period number 2. Icings are brought to you by our friends.
Minot's finest collision center.
Here's another look at the hit on Spence. Maybe. Will we have time? Of course, the Toros playoff run brought to you by our friends at Dental Care Associates. Draw to the corner. Spencer held, interfered with. Still tied up, puck dug out by Middendorf, puts it in front. One-timer, it's in! John Small gives the Toros a 2-0 lead with 3:25 to play in period number 2.
Great sequence there for the Toros. And for John Small, who didn't have a goal for his last 11 games of the regular season, he gets going in game 1 of the playoffs.
Again, you see Spencer getting worked over by 2 Bruins. And then Mindorf sneakily digs the puck out, puts it in front, and John Small doesn't miss, and the Toros go up by a pair. Bruins control off the draw. Beckwith fires it wide of Swedes' cage. Down in the corner it goes. They'll dig down low. Thrown in front, Swedes gets the paddle on it to deflect the pass. Albert finds the puck on the near side, dumps it down low. Far side, picked up by Yohala. He feeds Batten. Batten chips around the defender, looks to chase it down himself, but Albert had a good head start, and he wins the race to it. Thrown up the far wall, Yohala takes it away. Yohala tries to throw it towards the cage. It deflects off a body to the wall. Beckwith looking up ice. Shin to shaft for Lipset. Hands off to Savatessin. Savatessin with a long shot. That's blocked out front by Jordan Gibbs. And what a finish.
Oh my God.
And Xander Lipset on the backside gets the Bruins back in it with an absolutely filthy finish on the rebound off the end wall.
He took it through his legs, and Ken, that is one of the most filthy goals I have ever seen.
Hard to fault Swedes there. A long shot goes off the end wall, and Lipset was below the goal line. He went between his own legs and roofed it. That was unreal. I know that went against the Toros, but someone at the league needs to clip that for plays of the week. My goodness.
Like you said, it goes against the Toros, but that was spectacular from Xander Lipset. Gives the Bruins now a bit of momentum as they cut the deficit to 1 with 2:34 to go in the second period. Huge momentum shifter at Riverside Arena, as that was the first thing all game that fans have had to cheer about.
The Toros, shot by Noah Gibbs, fought off, rebound to the near side. Up top to the point, and Adam Mahler. Mahler throws one on net, gloved and held by Solomon for a whistle.
And now
Owens
Chuck
and Bynum.
Owens.
as everyone's getting a little feisty now.
You saw Owens earlier with Svan Tessen out in front of the net of Jack Solomon. That was this period. Owens will stay out on the ice despite a little bit of frustration.
We've got some more check-ins. The Conways are at home in Minot. Kim Bartels and Bozeman, Eric and Tracy Carpenter in Minot, and the Neubauers are aboard as well. Owens on this draw against Lorenza, 2:16 to play in the second. Owens wins it back. Mahler through traffic. That goes up high and wide. Flem keeps it at the far point. Dumps it down low. Jochums couldn't reach it. Mahler pinches down. Paddington heard footsteps. Bruins still control. Lund plays it to Bynum behind the Bruin net. Far side, Fleming pinches up. Thrown ahead. Paddington mishandles. And Mahler takes it away calmly and chips it up the near side. Lund forced to turn. Good step up by Fleming. Takes it away. Gains the red line. Dumps it deep. Solomon out of his net to stop. Nichols up on the pressure. Nichols with a hit on Lund. Forces a turnover to Edwards. Edwards tries to throw it to the front. It's blocked. Ramirez couldn't get his shot through as he found the loose change. Good stick by Ramirez. Takes it away for a moment, but eventually gives it back to Lorenza, who throws it down the ice. It'll say it got too close to Jordan Gibbs, so no icing. Jordan Gibbs leaves for Ty James. Ty James tries the far side. Ramirez up ice. He missed the intended Edwards, and it's dumped back into the Toros zone. No. It hit a body or something. Did it hit someone on the bench, or it came back? Day eventually was offside. Or at least was late crossing the line as Hirschfield was in offside.
I think Trace Day's argument is that the puck never moved in across the blue line despite the fact that Hirschfield was offside. So it should have been a delayed offside and a play on, as Hirschfield should have skated back out to neutral.
They're putting Day in the penalty box. Toros are going to the power play. What is the call here?
Jackson Riley getting the explanation.
It was in front of the Bruin bench. They haven't put anything up on the board yet. Well, they put the penalty on the scoreboard, but they haven't put anything on the whiteboard that they use to communicate penalties up to the official scorer. But either way, the Toros are headed back to the power play with 1:17 left to go in the second.
And they haven't made a signal.
It is a too many men.
A signal either.
It is too many men. So it's a bench minor served by Trace Day. And the Toros with a chance here before the horn to push the lead back to 2. They win the draw. Spence hands back to Mindorf. Mindorf up top for Mahler. Mahler comes to the near side. Yohala at the hash marks. Look back up top for Mahler. Mahler across. Mindorf. Mindorf from the circle. Delays, gives up top. Mahler back to Mindorf. They continue to play catch. Mahler comes across for Yohala. Yohala works it down low for Spencer. Bruins pressure there. They'll dig along the boards. Big scrum, bodies at the floor. O'Hannison and Spencer. Spencer out with it. Tries to get it across. It comes back to him. Then he feeds Mindorf, but a good stick by Bynum. Pokes it free, and the Bruins are going to attack shorthanded. It's Bynum. Bynum couldn't feed it through to Hirschfield. Comes off the end wall. And eventually Mahler has trouble. It's lost to Hirschfield. Shot gloved and held, and Swedin tried to play it, and the referee blew the whistle, and Swedes is livid.
And Swedin got to see a replay there. I'm not sure if he dropped it as soon as he grabbed it or if he came across.
The glove kept moving. At least that's going to be my story since Kobe tells us he doesn't have the replay. 69 seconds left on the power play for the Toros, only 25.3 of which will be before the horn brings intermission.
And I think the snaring motion from Lucas Swedin grabbing it across his body is what drew the whistle. And it was a great play by Hirschfield to get the puck. And really all he was trying to do was prevent the Toros from getting out on a break, but he realized that he had a clear shot in on Swedin.
Bruins control the draw, but the Toros take it away. 20 seconds left as Jordan Gibbs holds behind the net. Gibbs comes to the near side and Ty James. Ty James looks across for John Small. Small gains the line and rings it. Lipset will be the first to this on the near side. Poked free. Can Batten settle it down with help from Ty James? They scrum right in front of the Toro bench. Batten has to retreat to neutral, but a look across for Small. Horn sounds to end the period. We've got 40 in the books. Toros lead 2-1. We will send you out for a commercial break. When we come back, Lauren Hill will be with Billy Batten on the bench after these messages on the Minotauros Network.
At Northwest Tire, we have tires for everyone. Needs tires that are reliable and safe to get her family where they need to be. Needs a tire that's heavy duty for all of his off-roading adventures. Needs tires that can get him from point A to point B. No matter what you drive or your budget,
Northwest Tire keeps you rolling down the road.
Lucky for us, life is full of choices, big and small. They define us, make us who we are. And when it comes time for you to choose a car, home, your next big adventure, or start a new business, Farmers Union Insurance has the variety of coverage options to protect each perfect moment. Farmers Union Insurance. Contact your local Farmers Union Insurance agent today.
The puck, the net, the crowd, the moment. A chance to make history. Just like that perfect play, we're here to help you win at your financial game. At Great River Federal Credit Union, we offer competitive rates and innovative technology designed to empower you to achieve your goals. Become a member of Great River and score a $100 bonus when you use promo code Hockey100. Visit greatriverfcu.org/Hockey100 for details and open your account. Member NCUA.
As long as you have the back of someone in the midst of an overdose, North Dakota's Good Samaritan Law has yours. Learn how to save a life at behavioralhealth.nd.gov.
Opioids. Fill with care.
Welcome back inside the Riverside Arena, lovingly referred to as the Spam Can. We're going to send it down to the bench with Lauren Hill.
Farmers Union Insurance intermission interview. You scored our first goal of the night in round one, game one of the Robertson Cup playoffs. Can you walk us through that play?
Yeah, we got a turnover in the neutral zone. Jocks gave it up to me. I saw we had a 2-on-2, and I was able to take the middle, and they got all fumbled up, and I made a good shot, and it went in. So,
All right, your first playoff run in the Central Division. Just how are you feeling overall? What's the vibe coming into this weekend and next weekend?
I mean, the team's energy is great. We're super excited. We know we have the team to do this, and it's all about execution from here on out.
All right, thank you, Billy. Back to you, Ken.
That was Lauren Hill with Billy Batten down on the bench. We will take another commercial break when we come back. The Forebears Casino and Lodge and Admission Report after these messages on the Minotauros Network.
We often think of frontiers as pages in a history book, a time gone by. But even in this modern world, there are new frontiers to conquer. Whether you're tending the land to grow a better tomorrow or growing a business for new opportunities, the work you do powers the world. Exploring the frontier means stepping forward, shaping the future for yourself and for those around you. First International Bank and Trust, helping you live first, one step at a time.
When you carry blue, you get a devoted team backing you up, focused on you and your well-being, making it easier and affordable for you to make health a priority. When you carry blue, you get a health plan that anticipates your challenges, that's helping shape the future of healthcare, with more helpful tools and resources so you can get the most out of your benefits and focus more on living your best life. Find your plan today. Blue Cross Blue Shield of North Dakota. Carry blue. Carry on.
I am Melissa Mack, and I do collections and loans at Aspire Credit Union.
My name is Amy Rasmussen, and I am the Member Experience Coordinator at Aspire Credit Union.
I think it's very important to give back to our community to show that we care. I think that we're very good at showing our members we care, and they see us out in the community.
What I like most about working at Aspire Credit Union, it is very family oriented. We feel like one big happy family, and Aspire knows that your family always comes first.
I'll always remember when I first started. I showed up to work and my whole office was decorated in Mexican theme because I was going to be going to Mexico. I remember just being so shocked and so honored that they did that for me. I just think that's really special that Aspire allows us to develop those relationships with our coworkers.
We do a lot of fun things. We have the best potlucks ever. Kind of brings us together, and everyone just kind of helps each other out.
Aspire to more.
Hi, I'd like to add my new motorcycle to my insurance policy, please.
Greetings. Is it a moped or unicycle?
No, it's a motorcycle.
Unicycling enhances core body strength.
No, it's a motorcycle. It has 2 wheels, a seat, handlebars.
Does it have rocket boosters?
Can I speak to a live agent?
Impossible. All agents have been neutralized.
At Farmers Union Insurance, technology is important, and so is finding the best options for our clients, person to person. Farmers Union Insurance. Local agents, more options, great rates.
As long as you have the back of someone in the midst of an overdose, North Dakota's Good Samaritan Law has yours. Learn how to save a life at behavioralhealth.nd.gov.
Opioids. Fill with care.
Our history sets us on our path. From the moment we're born, we begin our walk through life. We learn so we can discover. We find our passion and develop our skills. We build relationships. We start thinking about what we're going to leave behind to those we love. Let our legacy help shape yours. First International Bank and Trust. No matter your place in life, we can help you live first.
Since 1977, Northwest Tire's been your partner on the road for over 40 years. People have put their trust in our quality brand tires and expert service on the roads and in the fields for work, play, and travel. Northwest Tire, keeping you rolling down the road.
The Four Bears Casino Sportsbook has a new look. Enjoy Vegas-style betting in comfort. Play and qualify to win trips to Vikings or Raiders NFL games. Order a drink at the dedicated bar. Then kick back in a lounger and watch the full wall display. Feel the action all the way to the final moment and claim your winnings. Book it for private draft parties or game day too. Visit the remodeled Sportsbook at Four Bears Casino and Lodge, 4 miles west of Newtown.
When facing disaster, it's not just the things we lose, but the memories. But there's hope. ServPro, with decades of experience in Minot and Bismarck, is always ready. Our certified professionals don't just restore homes, they rebuild lives. Because to us, you're not just a client, you're family.
Welcome back to the Four Bears Casino and Lodge intermission report in the Riverside Arena here in Austin, Minnesota. Robertson Cup playoffs, round 1, game 1. As always, Ken Oda, Evan Epstein's alongside. A much more eventful second period than the first. Toros get outshot 15-13, although it certainly didn't feel that way.
No, and the Austin Bruins started out shooting the Toros at the start of the period 7-1, coming off the first minute and 18 seconds. They started the period on the power play, and then from there on out, the Toros outshoot them by 4 the rest of the way. And so the Toros, I think, controlled the vast majority of the second period.
Yeah, it was that early power play start that made the shot totals what they were. Let's take a look at the scoring. It was Billy Batten opening the scoring from Jochums and Mahler. A good play for the Toros, as Jochums found a loose puck in his own zone, looked up ice, found Batten. Batten and Owens crisscross. Both defenders go with Owens, and Batten buries it in the back of the net. Excuse me. Then it was John Small getting the Toros' second of the night. Ian Spencer getting worked over as he has been all night. He's drawn a ton of attention from the Bruins, but Mindor finds a loose puck, slips it in front, and John Small buries it in the back of the net. Then Xander Lipset gets a measure of revenge for the Bruins. Takes a rebound that went off the end wall and between his own legs finds the top corner.
That's a trick shot.
Yeah. You just sometimes got to give the other team credit. That was an absolutely filthy goal by Lipset. Obviously his first of the postseason, and that made it 2-1. That score held to the end of the period. Toros did get a power play late. Too many men on the Bruins. They'll have 43 seconds left of that as we start period number 3. Let's take a look now at the out-of-town scores as we update this game 1 in every series. So even though a couple playoffs were last weekend, those were the play-in games. So as we take a look at the out-of-town scores, these are, like I said, game one of every series. The Rochester Junior Americans get a 5-2 win over Jacob Ingstrup and the Johnstown Tomahawks. The other series out east, the Maine Nordiques, they get the comeback win over the Maryland Black Bears. A 4-goal third period, 2 for 6 on the power play, despite getting outshot just 29-25. The Maine Nordiques get the win over the Black Bears, and I think Toros fans happy to see that. I don't think we want to see Maryland back in Blaine. Of course, plenty of work for the Toros to do before we have to worry about that as well. Out east, the Wisconsin Wendigo, the 1 seed there, have a 5-2, make that Midwest, a 5-2 lead on the Chippewa Steel. That game is early in the third period. Corpus and Shreveport, they are scoreless at the second break. Shots 27-24 in favor of the Mudbugs. In Bismarck, the Wings still lead by 1. Late second, it's now 3-2. Cooper Anderson, Bryce Johnson, and Sebastian Lillesund with the markers for the Wings. Tommy Cronin and Louis Kamensky with the goals for the Bobcats. Both teams have a power play goal. The Wings are 1 for 4. The Bobcats 1 for 1. Shots just 22-21 late in the second period. Down south, Lone Star, the defending Robertson Cup champions, they have a 1-0 lead on New Mexico. That one's late second. And of course, at no point during the last period did either of us research time zones. We were a little busy watching this one. So at some point later this evening, the Anchorage Wolverines and Fairbanks Ice Dogs will get going out on the last frontier. Of course, here, as we said, it is 2-1 in favor of the Toros. Goals from Billy Batten and John Small. Jockums and Mahler with the assists on the first. Mindorf and Spencer with the assists on the second. Let's take a look. We talked about keys to the game during the Farmers Union pregame show. Let's take a look at those home key, group key to the game, see how the Toros have been doing. My first key to the game was to set the tone, and Evan, I thought they did that with a solid first period that didn't really see a lot of action going either way. And they really did it taking that 2-0 lead in period number 2.
Yeah, and you look at the second key to the game, and I believe it was unexpected heroes. I'm not, or it was adjustments. Well, we'll see here, and grab a cape at the end, but down the stretch, we talked about unexpected heroes emerging for the Toros, and I'm not necessarily sure you'd call either Billy Batten or John Small an unexpected hero, but over the final 11 games of Batten's season, just 1 goal. John Small didn't have a goal over the final 11 games of this season. So you get those two players involved early, and that is massively important to, well, setting the tone for this series.
Indeed it is, and also you look at this Toro group, all season long they relied on their top 2 lines. Both of those lines have a goal. If you want to put this one away, a good way. If they can't tuck one away on the final 43 seconds of the power play, I think the Gibbs, Jockums, Owens line has looked really good. And in fact, it was Jockums and Owens who were out with Billy Batten when he scored his goal. It wasn't his usual group, right? Toros were caught in the middle of a change. Owens was able to work that crisscross play with Batten. That's what caused those defenders to leave Batten so open. Both Austin Bruin defenders went with Owens, who did a good job on the crisscross, then drive the net, took the defenders with him. That left Billy Batten all day to pick his spot on Solomon. So even though maybe Jockums who set up the assist and Owens, maybe they don't, well, Jockums did get the assist, but Owens doesn't get a point on that play. Chuck Owens, a huge part of the Toros' first goal for his play with Billy Batten when they were in the offensive zone.
And Owens started to get more involved that series out at Aberdeen when he played alongside Jesse Ahala and Jack O'Hannes. Owens had a stretch in 2025 when he really did struggle, but he seemed to settle in with Yahala and O'Hannes. When Taven James, he can't come to the postseason, he was playing with Noah Gibbs and Braden Jockums, so Chuck Owens slides back into that line, and he looks much better now than he did earlier in the calendar year.
Yeah, he's been playing much better of late. 43 seconds left. One of the other things we talked about was the need to make adjustments. Toro's power play hasn't generated a ton. Now they get to go back to the locker room and try and draw something up. I'm curious what Cody Campbell has in the bag of tricks.
And I am too. I think on that first power play we saw, the Toros were moving the puck maybe a little bit too much. They weren't taking the shots when they had openings, and maybe looking for screens out in front rather than setting up a wide open opportunity would be the better way to go. You did see Noah Gibbs get a good look on the power play from the left side, and you saw another opportunity. I don't have exactly who it was off the top of my head, but you saw two open looks. But I think if the Toros just try and get more pucks in on net, you'll generate rebounds, and from there, you can try and put one in.
I think regardless of whether or not the Toros can score in the next 43 seconds, with just a one-goal lead, you can't go back in a defensive shell. You have to try and play as much of this third period in the offensive zone, not let the Bruins get some hope. They've got the big bodies. They can bang away. You don't want to create rebounds and have plays in front. Try and spend as much time as you can 200 feet away from your own goal.
No, given the physical nature of this game with the big bodies from the Austin Bruins, Game 1 is not necessarily an end-all be-all, but that's what it feels like tonight here in Austin, Minnesota, right? Toros get out to a 2-0 lead, and they've really dealt with the physicality of the Austin Bruins spectacularly well to this point in the game. You get out of night one with a win, and you think about trying to go up 2-0 on the series and look to put the Bruins away just a little bit, but you got to finish it out over the course of 20 minutes, and if holding on to that lead is going to be crucial.
You mentioned it earlier in the broadcast. Toros, when they score first, 28-4-0. When they lead after two periods, 31-0. The one loss, that game against the Bruins the Friday night in Minot last month. So hopefully discipline will be a key for the Toros here in period number 3. Last thing for you, fans, we haven't announced the correct answer for the McDonald's Toros trivia question. Go ahead and get your guesses in on that. We'll announce that during the third period media timeout. Kobe will throw it up on the screen. I threw a curveball at him. Didn't talk about that in our pre-intermission show production meeting. McDonald's Toros trivia question. What is the Toros' record against the Austin Bruins in Game 1 of a series? This is the 8th time these teams have met in the postseason. Toros 2-5, 3-4, 4-3, or 5-2 against the Austin Bruins in Game 1 of a playoff series. Get your guesses in. You've got until the third period media timeout when we will reveal a winner. That will do it for the Four Bears Casino Lodge Intermission Report. When we come back, we'll drop the puck on period number 3. Toros lead the Bruins 2-1 here on the Minotauros Network.
We often think of frontiers as pages in a history book, a time gone by. But even in this modern world, there are new frontiers to conquer. Whether you're tending the land to grow a better tomorrow or growing a business for new opportunities, the work you do powers the world. Exploring the frontier means stepping forward, shaping the future for yourself and for those around you. First International Bank and Trust, helping you live first, one step at a time.
When you carry blue, you get a devoted team backing you up, focused on you and your well-being, making it easier and affordable for you to make health a priority. When you carry blue, you get a health plan that anticipates your challenges, that's helping shape the future of healthcare, with more helpful tools and resources so you can get the most out of your benefits and focus more on living your best life. Find your plan today. Blue Cross Blue Shield of North Dakota. Carry blue, carry on.
I am Melissa Mack, and I do collections and loans at Aspire Credit Union.
My name is Amy Rasmussen, and I am the Member Experience Coordinator at Aspire Credit Union.
I think it's very important to give back to our community to show that we care. I think that we're very good at showing our members we care, and they see us out in the community.
What I like most about working at Aspire Credit Union, it is very family oriented. We feel like one big happy family, and Aspire knows that your family always comes first.
I'll always remember when I first started. I showed up to work and my whole office was decorated in Mexican theme because I was going to be going to Mexico. And I remember just being so shocked and so honored that they did that for me. I just think that's really special that Aspire allows us to develop those relationships with our coworkers.
We do a lot of fun things. We have the best potlucks ever. Kind of brings us together, and everyone just kind of helps each other out.
Aspire to more.
The Four Bears Casino Sportsbook has a new look. Enjoy Vegas-style betting in comfort. Play and qualify to win trips to Vikings or Raiders NFL games. Order a drink at the dedicated bar. Then kick back in a lounger and watch the full wall display. Feel the action all the way to the final moment and claim your winnings. Book it for private draft parties or game day too. Visit the remodeled Sportsbook at Four Bears Casino and Lodge, 4 miles west of Newtown.
When facing disaster, it's not just the things we lose, but the memories. But there's hope. ServPro, with decades of experience in Minot and Bismarck, is always ready. Our certified professionals don't just restore homes, they rebuild lives. Because to us, you're not just a client, you're family.
Hey, I'm Jesse Lola. You're watching Minotauros hockey on NAHLTV.com.
Welcome back inside the Riverside Arena as we get ready to start period number 3. And Evan, I'm just going to put you on the spot. I got to catch my breath.
Well, a very exciting second period, and from a scoring perspective, a much more entertaining period than the first. Toros get on the board first. Billy Batten and Chuck Owens, as you said during the intermission, crisscrossing. Batten takes full advantage and buries a shot up and over Jack Solomon. Then you got John Small the other way on the as John Small, I believe he took it 5-hole on Solomon as he found the opening. And then Xander Lipset with maybe one of the nastiest goals we have seen all season. Between his legs, off the kick from the end wall, beats Lucas Vedin as that cuts the deficit to 1. And that makes the game feel much more attainable for the Austin Bruins.
It does, but the Toros have a chance to extend the lead here. They'll start with the first power play unit out. Thank you to Jody Meckley and Mike Carlock, who both let us know Fairbanks 3 hours behind. Kobe had guessed 4. Evan had guessed 2, so split the difference. And also 3 would have been my guess had I jumped in on that. Toros working from right to left once again as we start period number 3. Toros are on the power play. They control the draw. Middendorf at his own blue line. Drops it back. Adam Mahler looks to leave for Middendorf. Middendorf with speed hits the blue line, hands to Yohala. Yohala looks across for Spence. Pass was off the mark. Spence couldn't chase down the carom, and the Bruins take it. And the Toros will have to go for a skate.
And as there were just 43 seconds remaining on the First Western Bank and Trust power play to start the period, one clear kills almost all of that time off the clock.
Just 10 seconds left. They try to feed one in for Yohala. He gives it to Spencer, and what a save by Solomon. Spence can't take advantage of the turnover by the Bruins goaltender. It looked like he had the whole side of the net. Bruins come to full strength. Lorenza hits the line. Long shot sails well wide. Elbert holds it at the far point. His shot blocked by Spence. Karam's to Tui. Tui hands to Mindorf. Mindorf will chip it. Toros want to change it up.
Spence came off the ice with his jaw agape. He couldn't believe that one didn't get by Jack Solomon. Solomon making up for his mistake, misplaying the puck to Ian Spencer, but got back with the blocker.
Swedes gloves a dump in and leaves for Jordan Gibbs. Noah Gibbs from the near side. Hoists one out to neutral. Jochums punches it ahead, but it's taken away. Fired up ice for Luke Malkasian. He didn't catch it cleanly. Tui behind his own net. Gives to Noah Gibbs on the near side. Noah Gibbs hits the red line. Chips it into the near side corner. It'll ride the kick plate behind the net. Noah Gibbs pokes it free. Owens couldn't find it as he was met. And the Bruins dump it out to neutral. Clark from the red line tries to shovel it in, but Luke Malkasian takes away. Hands for Lund. Lund dumps it on net. Swedes leaves for Ty James. Bruins were mid-change, so not a lot of pressure. Feed up ice finds Spencer. Spencer tied up, and Hirschfield takes it away. Hirschfield promptly fires one about 10 feet over the back glass, and we get a whistle. 17:58 left to play here in the third.
And this is going to be the Ian Spencer shot. Solomon trying to play it aggressively, keep it in play, but it goes right to Ian Spencer. The thing is, Solomon knows where he put the puck, so he knows where he needs to get back to cover that shot.
Bruins win the draw in the Toros zone. Lund with a shot gloved and held by Swedes, who then flips the rebound up in the air and gloves it a second time. I don't think he'll get credited with 2 saves for that, though. 17:54 left to go. We've got the Bachovens checking in, as is Braden Tews. Everyone hoping the Toros can hold on here.
And Ken, you hit the nail on the head during the intermission. 1 goal is not enough to sit back defensively, especially against this Austin Bruins team. Toros need to try and push it down into their attacking zone.
Bruins control off the draw. Good takeaway. Now it's a race the other way. Mindorf in behind the defense. Mindorf in. Tries to go 5-hole. Save was made. Spence puts it up and over the glass. Solomon with the initial save. And then Spence just missed while Solomon was down and out. Toros wing it to the far side. Long shot by Lund. Misses wide. Rebound to the near side wall. Spence takes it away, but Albert keeps it at the point. Lund walks in, wires, stick save made by Swedes, and then Mindorf has it hop over his stick. Back to the point, Lund flubs the shot, a follow-up try, shuttled just wide by Day. Spencer hoists one ahead for Small, bouncing puck. Lund missed it, Small, backhand kicked away by Solomon, and the rebound thrown ahead and out to neutral. Tui pokes at it, but he couldn't settle it down. Now it's up for Lipset, who trips over the blue line and rolls one into the Toro zone. Tui leaves it far corner. Jordan Gibbs up ice. It gets through a man at the point, and Davin Nichols chips it into the zone. Stood up by Albert, but Ramirez is on it. Ramirez works down low. Nichols finds it, puts it out front for Tui. Tui cross to Jordan Gibbs. Jordan Gibbs, long shot through traffic, missed wide. Rebound into the near side corner. Can Edwards get there? He cannot. It's played down low. Ramirez frees it up, plays it to the near circle. No one there for the Toros, and now the Bruins look to turn. It's Beckwith. Beckwith pushes play up the near side wall, watched by Tui. Hits the brakes. Tui steps into him. It's thrown on net, put up off the glass, and now Jordan Gibbs has lost his helmet. He has to go to the bench. He can't play the puck. Meanwhile, Edwards guides it to the near side. Mahler able to chip it out to neutral, where Dane Ramirez takes over. He's working on Bynum. Throws it in front. Oh, Hannison couldn't pull the trigger. Looks for the trailer to Yohala. It's taken away. Evan Malkesian up ice. Gains the line. Hands to brother Luke. Luke Malkesian working along the goal line. Puts it in front. One-timer doesn't go for Evan. Yohala misses the rebound. Luke Malkesian with a shot save made by Swedes while he's getting a lap dance out front. Work down low. Mahler finds it. Jordan Gibbs' helmet still on the ice. He won't be able to come on again until he gets it.
It's a good
Toros
kick
eventually
to keep
dig it out.
in. Toros got it back, though.
Mizanko asking Gibbs if he wants the backup goalie helmet. Meanwhile, Gibbs' helmet still out on the ice behind Swedin's net. Puck up ice. Lorenza into the zone. It's poked free. Paddington finds it, fires it down low, and almost sent it up inside Gibbs' helmet. Yohala on it, leaves it to the near side, and Clark. Clark up ice for Noah Gibbs. It doesn't get through. Dumped back down into the Toro zone. Ty James banks to the near side. Noah Gibbs spins it out to neutral. Jockums pokes it ahead. He finds Owens. 2-on-1 if they hurry. Owens tries to feather it across. Good sliding breakup by Albert. Put to the side of the net. Doesn't get through to Jockums. Clever play there by Chuck Owens. Jammed up ice. Samuelson can't find it. That should be a hand pass, and the whistle does go, and the Toros will be able to get Jordan Gibbs his bucket back.
And can take a breath. A lot of extended time there without a whistle, and that's what kept Jordan Gibbs out on the bench. You saw Ty James come out to the ice. James has had fewer minutes than he normally has this season, but as Gibbs was stuck on the sideline, that's where Ty James comes in. You saw the Gavin Middendorf breakaway, which might have been 4 minutes ago by now, but I think that gave Bruins fans nightmares here on a Friday in March. Middendorf, 2 breakaway goals, had the empty netter for a hat trick.
Jordan Gibbs was out on the ice, but his helmet was damaged, so now he comes back to the bench. Toros have to throw another defenseman out. Who else? Adam Mahler back over the boards. When in doubt, the Minot Mahler. John Small on the draw, but it's controlled by the Bruins. Swept to the near side. Dropped back to Albert, who dumps it cross corner. Savitessin after it, but Mahler wins the battle. Plays up the near wall. Taken away from Spence. Chashade aside by Swedin, and the Toros send this down the ice. It'll end up on net, so it won't go for an icing. Mindorf up on the pressure. Williams tries the far side. Bruins again dump it into the Toros zone. Clark back on it. Clark plays to the far side. John Small one-hands it out to neutral. Got hit hard for the effort. Taking hits to make plays. This is Ty James. Ahead, Spence tried to kick it up ice, but Lund gloved it out of midair. Tried to play it to himself off the wall, taken back by Spencer. He's able to jam it up the near boards, and with help from Ty James, they work it out to neutral. Floated in on Swedes. He hands it to Clark. Clark pressured, leaves it to Ty James, who will bank to the near side, and John Small. Small eludes lip set, then lost the handle, tries to one-hand it ahead. Swatted in, delayed offside, they'll say. So the Toros have to peel back. Now O'Hannison and Batten up on the pressure. Yohala finally joins them after the Toros complete the change. Yohala through his own zone. Nice move, gets around Riley, then looks across for O'Hannison. It caught the linesman's skate and put the Toros offside again. So they'll regroup in neutral. This time Yohala tries to just jam it into the zone.
Yohala got caught up by Albert's stick. Awkward play. Yohala a little stung up, but he's still out on the ice.
Batten drops for O'Hannison as the Toros gain the line. It's broken up, but Fleming finds it. Gives back to Tui. Tui comes across for Fleming. Fleming delays, looks for a lane shot, fought off by Solomon. I thought for sure my Coca-Cola prophecy was coming true on that one. This is Tui. Tui turning on the far wall, cuts to the middle, tip play doesn't go, still loose, they hack at it, and eventually Solomon gets over the top. Not sure what I was talking about there, fans. You got to tune in to the Farmers Union pregame show.
That was a very nifty move from a very big Landon Fleming to open up his own shot, and I'm not sure if Solomon caught a piece of it or if Fleming just took it too high, and then Toros worked the puck out in front of the net. That's what Adam Mahler talked about at the first intermission interview, was working pucks out in front, creating dangerous chances like this where there's a scrum and trying to tip one past Jack Solomon, but Solomon able to find it there.
Edwards line out for the Toros against the Lorenzo line. Puck played in behind the net. Nichols frees it up to the side. Ramirez couldn't quite get there in time. Ramirez pressuring Albert. He has to turn it back in. Nichols pressuring as well. Toros are very aggressive here trying to free this up. Ramirez and Edwards working on the near side. It's rung to the far side. Lorenza with Ty James bearing down on him. Plays it in behind the net. Ramirez working. Eventually the Bruins find it. Williams. Toss across, finds Lorenza. Toros have 2 men back. It's James and Gibbs. Lorenza working on Ty James. Can't get to the front. Swedes pokes it ahead for Edwards. He's got Jockums and Jordan Gibbs with him. Edwards ahead for Jordan Gibbs into the zone. Gibbs puts it across for Edwards. Swatted out of midair by Lipset. 11.5 to play here in regulation. The Bruins start up ice.
If Nathan Williams connected on that puck, it should have been called for playing with the high stick, but I'm not sure if he got a piece of it.
Bynum swings it to the far side, and Lund, he dumps it back in. Stopped by Swedes. There were 3 Bruins offside, so had it gone in, it wouldn't have mattered. Still, the Bruins are offside, so the Toros allowed to kill some time in their own zone. Spence hands to Small. Small gains the red line and rolls it deep. Gets by Solomon. Mindorf punches it in behind the net for Spencer. Spencer turning off pressure. Small jams it to the far side. Adam Mahler steps up, throws it in front. Save made. Rebound in behind the net. Small trying to get free, his stick being held. Small still tied up by Bynum, allowing the Bruins to get out of their zone. It's up ice for Luke Malkasian. Good recovery by Mahler and Flem. Mahler just caught a stick to the face.
And somehow Bruins fans are the ones calling for the penalty.
They're arguing, and this will go for an icing. Icing's brought to you by our friends at
Minot's Finest Collision Center.
623 seconds left to go in period number 3.
Let's take a look at this sequence, because there were a couple of spots where I think both sides thought they were going to get penalties. Jockums did a good job of working back around to the puck rather than a hit from behind.
It was Fleming got in front, and then Mahler caught the high stick, but rarely do they call it on a player who's falling down like that. Either way, 10:23 to go in the third. Toros still lead by 1. This one flipped out to neutral. Tui finds it in the Toro zone, looks up ice. Jockums touches it in to negate the icing. Albert, pressured by Owens, leaves it behind the net. Day. Pass ahead was tipped, but Albert finds it anyway. Albert plays down to the near side half wall. It pops up high in the air. No one knows where it is. It's back in the Bruins zone. All 10 skaters were looking at the scrum on the near wall. Fans and goaltenders were both yelling where that puck was.
As was the Toros bench.
This is Tui. Tui does a lap around the Toro net and then hands to the near side to Noah Gibbs. Noah Gibbs met by Williams. Toros jam it back up ice. Williams sweeps across to the far side. Carried into the zone by Melgren. Melgren met by Mahler for a long shot that's gloved and held on to by Lucas Swedin. 9:22 left to go here in period number 3, which means it is time to bring you the McDonald's Toros trivia question answer, as well as announce a winner. The question: what is the Toros' record in Game 1s against the Austin Bruins? 2-5, 4-3, 3-4, 4-3, or 5-2. The correct record, Toros in Game 1 of a series against the Austin Bruins are, Evan?
5-2.
5-2 is the correct answer. Rachel Knight wins. She was one of the fans who had the correct answer. 19.1% of you had the correct answer. Rachel Knight, drawn at random, gets the free lunch from our friends at Dakota Drive McDonald's. You can pick that up at our next home game, which is next Friday night, Game 3 of the Best of 5 Central Division semifinal. Toros looking to improve to 6-2 against the Bruins in Game 1s. They lead 2-1 with 9:22 to play here in the third. Yahala line and Lorenzo line. Strength versus strength on the ice. Toros win the draw. Billy Batten starts up ice, gains the red line, looks to chip it to himself. It's broken up and thrown the other way. Fleming has to get through the referee to get to that puck, and he does. Then he falls down from his backside, plays ahead. Lorenza cuts it off. It was intended for Batten. Thrown in front. Quick shot and save with the blocker by Swedes. Toros control. Yahala chips ahead for Billy Batten. Batten spun off the puck by Lund, who then takes him to the boards. Toros dig this out. Yahala plays it back. Jordan Gibbs looks to chip it into the zone. It was blocked by Luke Malkasian. They were short of center. This will go for an icing. Bruins try to change anyway. Nothing doing. Icings are brought to you by our friends at
Minot's Finest Collision Center. That was E.J. Paddington, who just thought he was a step farther down the ice to try and dump it into the Toro zone. But two things happen. His unit has to get back out on the ice, and the Toros have a chance in their attacking zone.
The O'Keefes checking in from Minot. John Small out with Mindorf and Spencer. Clark and Ty James behind them was the Lorenzo line that was trapped out. Small wins it back, but Mindorf taken rather rudely into the far side wall.
Middendorf was just a touch late to try and skate in and take the one-timer, as that's what he was lined up to do off the face-off.
This will not go far enough for icing, so Ty James has to play. Gets spun down, but help from Clark. Bruins didn't have anyone else coming up the ice. They were changing off that icing. This is Spencer into the zone. Tries a shot, gloved and held by Solomon as Spencer's pressure arrives. 8:02 left to go here in period number 3. Toros still lead 2-1.
Ian Spencer was able to get around Nathan Williams to get to the net there and force Solomon to hold on to the puck. We've talked about what Ian Spencer's done in the playoffs against the Austin Bruins in Game 1 last year. 2 goals and an assist. 4 goals and 3 assists in 9 games in the postseason for Spencer last year.
50-50 draw, still underneath. Eventually dug out by the Bruins. This is Williams. Far side, good chop. Takes that away by Mindorf. Hands to Small. Small tries to work down the wall, but he lost the handle. And the Bruins look to start up ice, but Spencer breaks that up. Mindorf walled off by Lipset. Bruins still control, however. It's across the near side, and Williams. Up ice, Lipset looking to work into the zone. Far side, good hit by Tui. Frees it up. 2-on-2 the other way. Small has Spencer with him. Instead, he'll dump it in, and the Toros will peel off to change, except for Small, who applies the pressure. Williams on the near side throws that down the ice. It gets by Jackson Riley. Fleming forced to play. Bumped off by Riley. Puck's loose at the side of the net. Jockums finds it. It's poked away from him, but Mahler guides it calmly out to neutral ice. Noah Gibbs dumps it in. Mahler walled off by Bynum. Bynum plays it to the far side. Hirschfield has trouble. Noah Gibbs tied up by Bynum. Toros defense pair will retreat and change. Bruins dig it out of the scrum. Thrown ahead. Mishandled, and now Ty James steps up, but Hirschfield there in support. Squeezes through a check from Jockums. Puck comes back to Jockums after good defense by Jordan Gibbs, and the Toros will go the other way. Jockums with a good poke. He's got Owens with him. Can he get the feed there? He can, and Owens couldn't get it to go 5-hole as Solomon gets over the top.
And I like the idea from Chuck Owens looking 5-hole, but he didn't put, I think he missed on the shot.
We'll take another look.
He just skated
Thanks
by
to
him.
Dental Care Associates. I don't think he was actually shooting. I think he was going to try and pull it and just mishandled it. Either way, Solomon able to get over the top, hungry Hippo style, and we stay with a 2-1 lead with 6:27 to play. Draw to Solomon's right. Yahala line out. The puck pinballs to the near wall. Found by Cherry. Jordan Gibbs will get whistled for a hand pass as he kept that in by punching it at the blue line.
Well, it also would have been offsides as Gibbs was out in neutral and Batten picked up the puck back in the Bruins zone. So whatever way you slice it, that's going to be a face-off back out in the neutral ice.
If it had been offside, offsides would have been brought to you by our friends at
Affinity First Federal Credit Union.
Bruins control the draw on the restart. Carried up the far side wall, dumped in by the Bruins. Cherry frees it up. Looks to work a cycle behind the net. No one there for either team. Savitessin on it first, puts it in front. Good defense by O'Hannison, and Billy Batten will bat it out to neutral. Williams dumps it right back in. Toros Jordan Gibbs back on it. Gibbs leaves for Batten. Batten tries the far side. It's Mindorf. Mindorf carries ahead, hits the red line, dumps it in on net. It gets by Solomon. Mindorf couldn't get there, and the rest of the Toros were changing. It's the small line out there in full force now as the Bruins start up ice. Albert into the zone, breaks wide, tries a shot that's blocked. It'll fly to the near side corner. Mahler steps into Paddington and then plays the puck up the wall. Kept at the point by Lund for a long shot that's gloved and held by Swedin. That was ticketed wide, but he'll take the whistle anytime. 321 seconds left to go here in period number 3, and the Toros lead by 1.
And you have a feeling that these next few minutes really before the Bruins would have to pull Jack Solomon is going to be the crucial moments to watch. And now the Bruins have the drop in their attacking zone. So first up is, will the Bruins win it back and keep it in? For the Toros, they're looking to quickly clear.
Shots are 10-10 this period. Testament to the even play and the Toros not going into a defensive shell. They flipped this one out to neutral, and then Paddington was tied up with Adam Mahler, so delayed offside. Near side, Spencer from the red line gets through Melgren and then fights his way into the zone. Looks across, shot, save made off the stick of Middendorf by Solomon. Bruins poke it ahead. Lorenza forced to turn by Spencer, and then Bynum dumps it in. Swedes out of his net will find it and then throw it off the glass around to the near side. It gets out to neutral where Williams has to wait for his mates to get onside, so we'll look across for Bynum. We're just past 4:42 to play, and it'll be 4:39 as that puck goes up and out of play. Toros lead 2-1 here in game one.
And you look at the numbers in the third period, Bruins leading the shots on goal just 12-11, but out of those 12 shots, how many do you feel have really posed a threat to Lucas Vedin? I'd say the first and second were when the Bruins have had the majority of their prime grade A opportunities.
Toros have been strong, but still need to be strong for another 4:39. Leading by just one. Mackenzie Lalonde asks on the Facebook stream if they can see the game. Unfortunately, league rules prohibit that. NAHL TV, where you can watch. This dumped in by the Toros. Solomon guides it around to the far side. Bruins flip it out to neutral. Tui has trouble. It'll be Hirschfield taking it away. Hirschfield driving the net. Save made by Swedin on a shot from a tough angle. Rebound in behind the net. Tui tied up, dug out by Day. Riley helping as well. They throw it to the front. Shot. That goes up high and wide. Williams pinches down, then plays it back to the point. Day dumps it in behind for Jackson Riley. Riley looking for a shot blocked by O'Hannesson. 3:55 to go here in regulation. How early will the Bruins pull their goaltender? Williams with a shot blocked by Batten. Day working down low. Toros pinned in their own zone. Riley with a shot that's blocked, but it goes right to a man who's shot blocked by Jordan Gibbs, up and out of play. Good, strong shift by the Toros in their defensive zone. And Lucas Swedin out far to give Jordan Gibbs a stick tap for blocking that shot up and out of play and getting the whistle.
And that's the best offensive set that the Bruins have gotten going this period. Gus Elbert, I think he saw something because he was very frustrated as that got blocked out of play. Maybe just up over the near shoulder blocker side of Lucas Vedin, there was a little bit of space.
He was frustrated, and on that, you mentioned good long offensive zone shift for the Bruins. Lucas Swedin didn't have to make a save. The Toros skaters blocked all of those shot attempts. 50-50 draw, eventually controlled by Adam Mahler. Mahler with a chip off the glass out to neutral. It hops on Bynum, and now he puts Jockums down hard, and they'll say that was a clean play. Either way, Toros take it back. This is Owens. Jockums never possessed the puck and got hit hard. Toros should be going to the power play, leading by one late in this game. This is Fleming up ice, touched into the zone by Jockums. Solomon out of his net to stop. 187 seconds remain in regulation. Toros lead 2-1. Goals from Batten and Small for the Toros. Lipset for the Bruins. Thrown in front, loose puck. No one there for the Bruins. They were mid-change. Paddington was in too deep. John Small gains the red line, and now he'll just chip this in. It hit the linesman. So Small gets it back and brings it to the far side, but there's no one there for the Toros. Now it's up ice. They've got Lipset again. Lipset working on Jordan Gibbs. Jordan Gibbs escorts him to the wall. Good defense by Jordan Gibbs. And now Spence banks that out to neutral. It doesn't connect with Middendorf. Lipset trying to take it back in. 2.5 to play. Right now, Solomon still in his net. Toros able to just chip this out to neutral. It won't go far enough for icing, so they can get fresh troops on. Batten, Yohala, O'Hannesson, Mahler, and Fleming on for the Toros. This one dumped in. Here's another look at that no call moments ago.
And I think they're discussing where the faceoff is going to come right now, in neutral or in the Toros zone. As Braden Jocham skating forward, and there's no intent to play the puck there, and contact up into the face of Braden Jocham. So the drop is going to come in the neutral ice as it went off the stick of a Bruins player. That keeps Jack Solomon in his net. Bruins will try and dump it in and recover, and hopefully for them, they'll try and get Solomon to the bench.
Bruins control the draw. They'll ring it in. Swedes out of his net, couldn't stop it. Solomon cheating to the hash marks, but the Bruins have yet to gain possession. Yohala does. Yohala banks it ahead for Ohannesson. 2-on-1 with Batten. Ohannesson tackled from behind by Jackson Riley. Bouncing puck to the far side. Looks like it'll be prison rules for the final 2 minutes. This is Bynum. Looks across. Far side, Lorenza. Lorenza in. Turns it over to Ohannesson, who bots it out to neutral. Races on the other way. Bynum couldn't keep it away from Ohannesson, but eventually blocks the shot. 101 seconds left to go. The Bruins will start up the ice. Evan Malkasian finds Lorenza at the Toro blue line. He's met there, and the puck is pushed out to neutral. Good defense by Adam Mahler. Chipped ahead. Mindorf couldn't find it. Fleming has it on the near side. Jams it out to neutral. Bouncing puck. Mindorf holds. Shot for the empty net is blocked. It'll end up in the corner. Spencer to it first. Spencer throws it to the empty net. He misses wide. Rebound to the near side. Mindorf. Mindorf played it down low. 1:12 left to go. Toros lead 2-1. Thrown up the near side. That was off the mark. This should go for an icing. They wave it off.
Malkasian got his stick on it.
Far side. Mindorf throws it down the ice. Off the post. And it will go for an icing. Icing's brought to you by our friends at
Minot's Finest Collision Center. This game was inches from being over. Middendorf had the empty netter earlier in Austin, March 21st, to finish off the game, and it looked like he was going to have it there. I thought that one was on target, and it glances off the side.
Yeah, just the outside of the post. Timeout taken. Austin took their timeout, which an interesting choice. 55.6 left. Steve Howard wants a chance to draw something up off the offensive zone draw, but also by taking the timeout, the icing and the tired Toros get a chance to change.
And particularly given how much these top units have played for the Toros all night long, you think those might be a little bit of extra tired legs on the ice. I think this timeout favors the Toros more than it does the Bruins.
I think so as well. But 55.6 left to go here in regulation. I suppose if you're Howard, you're not guaranteed another chance to use your timeout, so you want to draw something up. Also, his top line, the Lorenza line, had been out there for most of that last minute, so it gives them a chance to rest. Toros sticking with Spence, Small, Mindorf, Mahler, Fleming, and Swedin.
And why wouldn't they? I mean, they forced the puck down into the Bruins zone. There were a couple of moments where it looked like they were going to get a shot onto the empty net. I think there was one where Spence picked it up off the wall. He had Middendorf center of the ice, tried to turn and sweep one in. Maybe an extra pass would have been beneficial on that play. But nonetheless, this group has done a great job so far of taking possession of the puck.
Small and Lorenza on the draw. It lays underneath him. Small falls on top. He's tied up by Lorenza. Time ticking away. Eventually it squirts free. Fleming punches it to the wall. Luke Malkasian throws it wide of the cage. It'll ring to the far side. Bynum's the first to it. Bynum dumps it back in behind the Toro net. Luke Malkasian holding. Throws to the far side. He'll get to the point in Bynum. Bynum sweeps across the near point. Williams. Williams shot blocked. Up and out of play. Good job by Ian Spencer to get that block. And now will the Toros use their timeout, or will they stick with the current group? I think you just stick with it and don't give the Bruins a chance to draw anything up. What do you think, Evan?
I'm with you there. I think the Bruins are probably going to go back to the same play they had on the prior faceoff.
Small wins it cleanly back. Shot for the empty net. It's in! Adam Mahler hits the empty net. Toros lead 3-1.
That is about as clean of a play off the faceoff as you can have for the Toros. Straight back. Mahler a quick shot all the way down the ice, and the Toros are going to walk out of Riverside Arena with a 1-0 series lead.
You are brave, Evan. I don't know that I would have said that just yet. 24.6. We've seen crazier things happen.
Solomon's back in his net.
You have to in case the Toros win this draw. Yohala line out. Toros push it into the offensive zone. Bruins play around to the near side. Batten holding. Delayed call coming, so the Bruins are getting a power play with 15 seconds left. Ohannes into the box for the second time tonight.
And now they're going to pull Solomon and go 6-on-4 in their attacking zone. They're going to look for one quick off the faceoff.
But now you are getting to prayer time with just 15.1 left, even if you score on this power play.
For the Bruins, this goal probably has to be right off the draw.
Yeah. Yeah, because even if you score on it, the puck's coming out to neutral, and you'll have to regain the zone. 50-50 draw. Bruins punch it out to neutral, and that should do it. Toros will take a 1-0 lead. That was an offside play. It doesn't matter as it's punched down the wall. Long shot for the empty net. Won't get there before the horn and missed wide anyways, but the Toros lead round 1, 1-0. We will keep it here. Lauren will have Lucas Swedin on the ice.
Ken, that was everything you could have asked for and more from the Toros. You knew what the Bruins were going to come out with, and they did. A physical hockey game. Bruins crashed in on the net in the first. Toros held them off. They take the lead in the second, and a stellar defensive period in the third holds the Bruins off the boards. You see that they got 13 shots on goal, but as I said moments ago, how many of them were grade A opportunities? Not many. I'm not even sure they had one.
No, Lucas Swedin had probably his easiest period of the evening in putting that away, and that's what you want to see. You come into the third period with a lead, you want to shut it down, and that's exactly what the Toros did.
Swedin 34 on 35, and I feel pretty confident in saying that it's going to be Swedin again tomorrow night after giving up one in game one.
Apparently we're going to send it out to commercial. We'll come back with the Farmers Union postgame show after these messages here on the Minotauros Network.
When facing disaster, it's not just the things we lose, but the memories. But there's hope. ServPro, with decades of experience in Minot and Bismarck, is always ready. Our certified professionals don't just restore homes, they rebuild lives. Because to us, you're not just a client, you're family.
If RPMs raise your BPMs, if the open road is an open invitation, then get up and go. Go turn some heads. Go turn a wrench. Go windows down. Go volume up. Go in. Go out. Go off. Napa has America's largest network of parts and care, here to keep you firing on all cylinders.
Circle Sanitation is a locally owned family business providing quality waste hauling services since 1980. We provide service to residential and commercial customers, as well as roll-off service for large projects and construction sites. We are dedicated to providing excellent service at competitive prices without deceptive contracts or hidden fees. For more on what Circle Sanitation can do for you, call us or visit circlesanitation.com.
Welcome back inside the Riverside Arena, where the Toros take game one of the Central Division semifinals by a score of 3-1. We'll recap the scoring for you as well as pay off our forebears over-unders. and take a look around the rest of the league. In fact, let's skip right to that. I'm curious what happened in Bismarck. 4:59 to play in Bizzo. Aberdeen still up 3-2 on the Bobcats. Shots, my goodness, now 39-27 in favor of the Bobcats. 18-5, the third period advantage.
And yeah, I was just about to say, as I heard Kobe in our ear, that seems like a prime game to take a live look in on the post-game show. But we'll summarize the Toros game, and then maybe with about a minute left there, we'll catch the final 60 or so seconds.
Looking at goals in the second period, no scoring in the first. It was Billy Batten off of a nice feed. The puck caroms back into the Toro zone. Jockums finds Batten up ice, and then a great crisscross play with Owens draws both defenders to Owens, and Billy Batten makes no mistake. Toros take a 1-0 lead. Toros would double that lead. Ian Spencer tied up in the corner, but he's able to kick the puck along the boards over to Gavin Mindorf. Mindorf squirts it to the middle, and John Small with the eventual game winner goes 5-hole on Solomon. Xander Lipset with one of the filthiest goals I've seen in my 15 years in this league. Takes a puck that comes off the end wall. Here's the initial shot. Deflected wide. Lipset finds it, goes between his own legs, and tucks it over the glove side of Lucas Swedin, but that was the only one that would get him. Then, in the third period, into the empty net off of a draw. Who else? Getting us the defenseman goal over. Adam Mahler from roughly 195 feet away gives the Toros the 3-1 lead. That would hold on to be the final. For all 4 goal scorers, it was obviously their first goal of the playoffs. Jockums, Mahler, Mindorf, Spencer, and John Small pick up assists for the Toros. Savitesson and Beckwith with the helpers for the Bruins. But a good night all around here for the Toros. Let's look at those 4 Bears over-unders. We don't need the graphics, Kobe. I know you're getting the live look-in set up. Total Toros defenseman goal, thanks to Adam Mahler. That goes over, which 81.6% of you predicted it would. Toros shots on goal. Final shots on goal for the Toros was 35. So that goes over as well of the 27.5 number. 73.5% of you thought that would go over, and total overtime minutes played, 100% of players were correct. That goes under. Toros don't need overtime tonight to take the 1-0 series lead. Our winner, with all 3 right, Emily Keller, is the winner of our 4 Bears Casino Lodge over-unders game. Emily, you can pick up your winnings at the merchandise stand at the Toros' next home game, which is Game 3 of this best-of-5 series. Toros, if they can pick up tomorrow night's game, will be looking to close out the Bruins, but there's work to be done before that. The good news, by getting the win tonight, the Toros have stole home ice advantage. Each team needs to win 3 more games. Each team has 2 more home games in their building.
Yeah, and you think about what this game does for the Toros. It reestablishes that momentum that you felt them take back in late March when they dominated the Austin Bruins in a 4-1 victory. That game came back on March 29th, and that was the game where you felt like the Toros controlled the entirety of the game, and that felt pretty similar to tonight. Now, yes, the Toros get outshot by 2, but frankly, Toros had much better looks on net. The Bruins had a little something going in the first, but not for the final 40 minutes.
No, and good work by the Toros to close this one out. We talked about being 31-0 when playing. We're starting the third period with a lead. They've shown all year they can close out games when they have a lead entering the third period, and I thought they probably played their best period of hockey despite only getting the empty netter. They played their best period of hockey of the night in the third.
And I'm with you there, Ken, and that's because they were continuing to take over the puck. They did not let the Bruins hits interfere with their ability to send it into the Austin zone. They held it there. I thought that sequence when they were shorthanded with Ian Spencer, Gavin Middendorf, and John Small, even before they actually got the empty netter, really just showed you that even down an attacker, Toros were able to control play on the ice.
Final 3:02 in Bismarck as Kobe gets us the live look in. Are the Bobcats wearing different jerseys? They did go playoff jerseys again. Shots there. Oh, the box score is about a minute ahead of the NATV feed. As the puck squirts out to new. I'm not going to do play-by-play of this game. What am I doing?
You want me to take it, Ken?
We'll keep talking about the Toros win while fans can keep an eye on the Bizzo game. You know, we talked about players needing to step up, and he doesn't get credited with a point tonight, but I loved what I saw from Chuck Owens. Yes, he didn't score on that 2-on-1 off the nice feed from Jockums, but it felt like whenever Chuck Owens was out there, good things were happening for the Toros tonight.
And he seemed to fit right in with Braden Jockums and Noah Gibbs. And I think to have the chemistry in that line, to have it back flowing once again, because it was not smooth sailing for the entirety of the year. If you have three lines you can go rely on, shift in and shift out for the Toros, that's a winning formula, because we talk about it all year long. 135 of the 208 goals come from those top two lines. So if you can confidently put that group out there, and that might help you rest the small line as well as the Uhala, Ohanesen, Baden line, then things are going to continue to go very well offensively for the Toros.
Yeah, I think, if you can play this way against the Bruins, we saw, even though, we talk about a lot of the time that if the Bruins are allowed to hook and hold and interfere, that things tend to go their way. A lot of that stuff was let go tonight. But the Toros were able to play through it, and I thought the Toros' speed was a huge advantage. You'd love to see the Toros come out tomorrow night and continue that strong play. And, if you can get up, take a 2-0 lead coming home, into that tough atmosphere in Minot, it can be a surprising series for the Toros. I think we talked with David Coyer, the voice of the Bruins. Of course, Peter Theodos, former Toro front office guy, spent 4 years in Minot, talked to him a lot during the week. Everyone we talked to, both sides thought this series had 4, probably 5 games in it. I think it was you who said you don't see anyone winning any back-to-back games. If the Toros don't, at least if no one wins a back-to-back game, Toros winning game 1, that would mean they win game 3 and 5, and I'll take that too, even if it means we have to make the long drive back to Austin just for one game.
Ken, don't bring it up. But, right, like you said, and...
Did the Bobcats just tie it up? I think the Bobcats just tied it up. They tied it up with a minute 48 left to play.
This live look-in might have to end a little.
Yeah, we're not going to stay in for intermission and overtime, but right now, a lot to be happy about. Toros get the game 1 win. It looks like Lauren's been shut down for a second time. So that'll just about do it for us. Evan, final thoughts as the Toros take game 1.
This is everything you could have drawn up and more if you're Cody Campbell. Like you said, the Bruins got away with the hooks and holds tonight, but the Toros didn't get caught up in those plays, and I think a lot of what you saw over the 4 games in March was you saw fights start to emerge and the Toros get caught on the wrong end of the ice off of some of those late hits. Tonight, despite a little bit of frustration, Toros still got back to the puck and were able to recover off of those plays, and I thought they dealt with it very well. Those 2 goals you mentioned, Chuck Owens helping out with Billy Baden, and then John Small, a beauty through the legs. Couldn't have drawn it up any better.
Yeah, and I think if you're the Toros, there was definitely a focus on keeping your composure even when the Bruins are getting away with some of the things you didn't like. I thought they did a good job of that as well. Even Ian Spencer, we mentioned a little bit of frustration, but nothing where he was running around losing his mind. Overall, a good performance from everyone in Cream and Cardinal. We know the recipe. We also know the Bruins are going to make some adjustments. So Cody Campbell will have to be ready for that as well. Expect the Bruins to come out hard the first 5 minutes tomorrow night. It'll be up to the Toros to keep them off the board and try and take Game 2. We'll see if they can. Toros lead the best-of-5 Central Division semifinals 1-0. We will be back tomorrow with Game 2 at 6:50 here on the Minotauros Network.